Welcome everybody to the MiniMapCast. This is MiniMap.com.au's weekly games podcast. This is your favorite weekly games podcast. My name is Kerry Palmer, and joining me as always, back from a busy week of no rest, of schmoozing, of boozing, it's Jeremy back from PAX.
Hello, I'm fucking so tired, my guy. I'm so exhausted.
When I was editing last week's show on Thursday, PAX hadn't started yet. So you went to Parallels and you'd done a couple of things.
Yeah, went to the Agders. We'll go through it later.
Yeah, totally. And so I was editing the podcast and we were talking about PAX last week, how it was coming up, and you said, I'm so excited to have no free nights until Sunday. And I was like, oh, well, we've got the podcast on Monday. He was like, yeah, we got that. That's another thing in a row.
Another night that I'm not free.
And then when it got to Thursday and PAX hadn't even started yet, and you weren't tweeting about Parallels, which was odd because I saw it. I'm like, oh, is Jeremy? I didn't even know if he's there. And I spoke to you a day or two later. I asked you about it. You were like, oh, yeah, I was just so tired. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I had barely been tweeting because of it. Right, I was going from event to event. I was waking up, hopping on a train, immediately working, trying to talk to people, mingle, network, yada yada yada. And I was just I was barely on my phone. I went through my messages today. Of from people that had messaged me on Thursday and Friday, my housemate being hey, can you put something on Plex for me? And I responded back today being yep, I'll do that either today or tomorrow. And they're I've already seen it, it's fine.
You need to set an out of office message.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It's that is going to be the topic of the show for the week. That is what we're going to be spending a lot of time about, listening to Jeremy's tidbits and anecdotes and stories. We've got behind closed doors demos to talk about and other things, most of which I haven't heard of, because as Jeremy said, he's been busy the whole time. So we're going to hear about it all today. Something else I said, something else that was said, I said it last week, was, Jeremy's going to be busy. I'll try to make sure I'm playing stuff so we have something to talk about and what we've been playing during the show. And my list of games for the week is very strange and very short. So what we're going to do is I'm going to intro the show. I'm going to tell you what I've been playing for the last 7 days. We're all going to go, huh? And then we're going to talk about PAX. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let me just scroll down here to the rigmarole. If you didn't know, you can catch us every week on any podcast platform of your choice, or you can watch us on Twitch as we record the show live if you want to see the show. If you like what you're hearing, please give the show a positive rating. Oh, pardon me. Please give the show a positive rating wherever you are listening to us, whether you're watching live on Twitch, watching on YouTube later, listening on any podcast platform, wherever you're listening to us. If you can give us a positive rating, that would be great. And as I just mentioned, we are live on Twitch every Monday. We're a little late tonight. It's about 7 o'clock. Had to get a few things organized. What? Live on YouTube too.
Yeah.
Great.
See how we go.
Great.
Never get any views there.
See how we feel about it. Yeah. While we're live, before, during, and after the show, we get to hang out with the Twitch chat and anyone else who's here. We're talking to Buddy before, who Jeremy's spending time with over the weekend. We're going to talk about next week's topic during the break of this show. So if you want to hang out with us, have a chat with us, it's a great place to do that while we record. You can also keep up to date with us whenever we post a new episode or anything else for minimap.com.au. By either A, going to that website, minimap.com.au, or by going to our various social accounts. That's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Twitch, all at minimapau. That's it. It's a good way to know about what each topic of the week is as we post the show. For example, last week was the debut of our new recurring segment called You Can Have This One, where we tried to design our ideal Marvel's Avengers game. Each of us individually bring it together, mash it up. Something that was brought up last week was that Jeremy had booked a time to record a podcast at PAX. Unfortunately, Jeremy wasn't quite able to pull that off in regards to the people he wanted to book. They were all unavailable.
I've got stuff on that as well, which we'll get to as well when I talk about PAX.
Right, we'll get to there. So if you're looking for that episode that I spruiked last week and you can't find it, it's because it doesn't exist, and it probably never will. So sorry that you're looking for it, but we're going to hear about why it's not there in just a minute. We wanted to say thank you to Shook for letting us use the Moog Model D Improv as the music for the MiniMapCast. You can listen to more of Shook's music at shook.bandcamp.com. And lastly, if you want to help keep the lights and mics on, you can throw $5 our way and become one of our patrons. It can help us to continue to do this. You can ask us questions to answer on the podcast, and it's as cheap as a latte with oat milk. Jeremy, did you have any drinks this last weekend that were as cheap as a Patreon subscription to minimap.com.au?
Nothing is cheap as a Patreon subscription to Minimap. There is
nothing as cheap as a latte with oat milk, everyone.
It's true. And you know what? Latte with oat milk in the city even more expensive.
That's how good a deal it is to be offering your contribution to this show and this site. It would help us out a lot. You could do that by going to patreon.com/minimapau. Otherwise, we'll be here for you for free if that's something you can't afford or you can't get into. So all the options are there for you.
Be like Shane in the chat, who I got to meet for the first time at PAX, who was saying hello, and I'm saying hello back.
Oh, hello, Shane. I was just saying before the chat started, Magic Cast here in the chat. This
yes.
is So I was just saying that I wasn't feeling the fear of missing out during the weekend because I really needed rest. But now that we're on Monday and we're about to hear all these stories and everyone on Twitter is like, I'm going home, I miss you all. I'm feeling it a bit now. I'm feeling they're like, oh, maybe I should have done it. I think that's a good sign for PAX 2023. So let's get the what I've been playing segment out of the way, and then we can move on with the show. Jeremy, it got to about Friday, and I'm like, okay, I'm so tired with this week. Did a bunch of work, didn't play too much, finished Final Fantasy X, don't really have much to say about it. Did more endgame stuff, nothing as abjectly terrible as the mini games I pointed out last week. Not really much to talk about there. Played a bit of Blitzball today, who cares? But something else I did is I had a night where I sat down and I was like, I want to play something else. I want to play something different. Let me go through PlayStation Plus because I'm paying for it, so I may as well use it. I'm like, let me install a few games. Maybe one of them will be done tonight. None of them were, so I didn't even play these random games that I installed. So first thing I installed was Assassin's Creed Unity, which I have on disc and have been thinking about putting in, but I haven't.
Okay.
And I'm like, I played a lot of that game when it came out, and yeah, it was rough, but I beat it, and I played it a lot. Let me see what I could do. And so I loaded it up, and I'm like, I'll start a new save so I can, get the proper Unity experience. Joke's on me, this is one of those games where you don't get multiple saves.
Right, great.
And I didn't feel like playing it on one of my other accounts, so I just loaded into my 80% complete save, where all I have left to do is collect chests and side quests. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I opened the map, which is a complete mess. I opened it, and even with an 80% complete map, I opened this map, and I'm like, Jesus. And I sort of stumbled around for 20 minutes, and then I closed the game. So then, what I did next was I installed Final Fantasy 15 for, I think, the third time this year.
As you do.
First time I installed it, I played half an hour and was like, I don't really get it. And then it's so big, I deleted it for space. Second time I installed it, I'd never even started it before I deleted it for space. This time I played about 3 or 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have much to say about it. That game's really weird.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's weird. It's weird, especially having played Final Fantasy VII Remake since then. Like, that combat system is so much tighter, and this one I feel like I don't know what they're wanting me to do half the time. Like, it's a weird game. Weird vibe too, like the modern day plus magic setting. Very strange. Anyway, the next thing I played was Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered.
Why?
Jeremy, I don't know. I don't know
what
why.
happened to you this week?
It was a really, really strange week. I don't know what it was. I just didn't feel like playing on anything else. I didn't want to play anything on the computer. So I was just on my couch a lot of the time. But then, like, PlayStation Plus doesn't have that much that I don't already have or haven't already played. And so, I don't know. I played 45 minutes of Red Faction yesterday.
Great.
Troy Baker's the main character in that game. Didn't know that.
Great.
Yep, that's the most notable thing I have to say about it. Destruction physics are cool. I played some Overwatch 2 because some friends were playing it. That game is Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
Minus one of the characters per team.
Yeah, I was walking around one of the booths. I think it was like the ESL booth, I think.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of computers there with Overwatch 2 that you could just walk up and play if you wanted. And I looked at that and went, no, I'll keep walking.
Yeah.
Like I'm good.
Yeah, I was remarking to people how similar it was and how familiar it was. It was like coming home to something that I haven't been to in a while. Except Blizzard have done, and many things have come to light.
Yeah, we now know that Blizzard have done more
about
awful
Blizzard
things.
since then.
Yeah,
it's like the one of the things that got me was it was on Saturday. I was installing the game because friends had been like, "Oh, we're gonna play it," and I was like, "Oh, okay, let me install it," and then I'll be like 40 minutes because it's downloading. But I just saw the IGN review pop up in my recommended. Let me watch the review because I hadn't already. And so Simon Cardy's doing his review. It's a good review, and he's talking about how there are how every character's been tuned, and how one of his favorite characters, Cassidy, doesn't have the flashbang anymore. I'm like, all right, I know there's new characters in this game. It's been a while since I've played. Who the hell's Cassidy? That looked like a cowboy to me. That looks like McCree. Oh, wait, that's right. They had to rename that character because they named that character after a dev on the team who turns out was really, 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 really tied into all of that Cosby Room heinous disgustingness that came to light this year and last year with all of the allegations that were made against them. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Anyway, let's play some Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I want to play that game at all in any way, shape, or form. I have no desire.
Yeah. Honestly, if you feel it all that way, yeah, I wouldn't. Mostly because, like, for people like you and me who, you know, played it when it came out and dabbled and went back to it for a couple of years and then fell off, mate, it's the same game. I can't tell you that much about what feels different because I wasn't one of the people putting in like dozens of hours a month over the last 4 years as they went through all of the comp meta changes. Yeah, it's a really strange, really strange scenario. If I had to pay for it, I wouldn't have played it. Because it was free, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to play with friends and then not play it until they want to play again.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable doing that and then just being like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then last night, the reason I mentioned all these games and all of that was it came to a head last night when Sam and I finished dinner. We were watching YouTube, and Sam was like, "Oh, I want to watch you play something." I was like, "Oh, okay, let's see what I've got on the dashboard." And I log onto and go to the home screen, go to the game tab, and it's like, what the fuck happened here? Final Fantasy 15? Assassin's Creed Unity? Red Faction Guerrilla? What happened here? Like, I just didn't recognize my home screen anymore. It was like I did it in a fugue state, and I came back, I was like, wait, someone changed the wallpaper. This is really weird. So that's it. It's just a weird week of games.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
But damn it if it isn't honest.
I mean, hey, there's one thing we can call you. It's Honest Gary. Yeah, right. Okay.
Jeremy, I want to hear all about
I have nothing
PAX.
to say about anything that you played. I have like
No, I would be surprised if you did, Jeremy.
I have absolutely nothing to say.
Thank you for indulging me.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm now here for the PAX Power Hour and a half.
Before we get into PAX, I'm just going to walk you through my week in Games Week. Okay.
So we're going to go through Migwa before PAX.
I mean, PAX is part of Migwa,
Weekend.
but yeah. So
Yeah, but, well, yeah.
it's October now. Yeah, got him.
17 degrees, cool breeze off the Yarra as I take a sip from my latte with oat milk.
It's October, which means it's time for the Melbourne International Games Week. Gary's laughing again because I said it's October once more. There were events. Oh, Gary's gone. Okay, so the week for me started on Wednesday, on Tuesday night. Tuesday night was my first event. I forgot about. I went to the Game Workers Australia meetup, which is it was a meetup for the Australian
union, right?
Yep, the Australian Game Developers Union. This event was great. Is basically the long and short of it. There was plenty of people there, which was good. Really good turnout. Really good like energy going into this event, and people talking about the working conditions and talking about sharing information across different studios, and pay sharing in terms of like salary information sharing across. So I just want to highlight that as
Great.
like the first thing that I went to, and it was very positive and very good. And there's plenty of good folks over there, like my good friend Sarah and Maze, who worked on Wayward Strand, which just came out as well, which I will get to very soon as well. Bunch of really great people there.
If you get to meet Maze?
Yes, I got
awesome.
One of those things, like I went up to a reoccurring thing that I did this week was me going up to people saying, "Hello, my name is Jeremy. I know who you are, and we have many mutual friends. We should be friends." And that turns out it's that easy.
Great.
It did that many times. It was great.
Oh, that's fun. That's cool.
Yeah, it was great. So that was Tuesday night. Then comes Wednesday. We have the Australian Game Developer Awards, Carrie, which I was
the AGDAs.
The AGDAs. Which I was lucky enough to be chosen to be a judge on. Again.
Second year in a row.
Second year in a row.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was second or third.
You did it last year.
I couldn't remember if I did it the year before or not. I don't think I did.
I'm pretty sure this is the first repeat.
Yes. Got to go in person for the first time. Dressed up in my suit. Went to.
You have a suit?
I have a suit. Yeah, I have
sick.
I have a suit
Great.
because my cousin got married about less than 6 months ago, which means I had a suit that still fit me basically perfectly, which was great.
Yes.
I just can't put on or lose any weight or change my height at all in the next however long I need.
80 years.
Yeah. It was great. It was a good event. It was hosted by the folks from Queens of the Drone Age, which is a tech podcast.
Cool. That's a great name.
Yeah, no, it's a really good name. Like they did a good job hosting. The venue itself was not the sound wasn't great. It was quite a large venue. And let me tell you,
It's kind of thing with like tables all around, and then like a stage.
Yeah, like tables all around, and then like a big open area for everyone to stand. And then the stage. If there were tables everywhere, then they wouldn't have been able to fit as many people as they did. I cannot tell you how wild it was to walk into a giant venue and just be surrounded by people and everybody drinking and just being like, well, I guess this is just what this is again.
This is what you signed up for.
Yep. And it was great. It was really good. Some really cool games were there. The top 2 games that won the most awards were Cult of the Lamb. Actually, honestly, Cult of the Lamb won the most awards. I think they took home, I think
it was 4.
Yeah.
I saw a headline for that, like on IGN, I think. Like, Cult of the Lamb sweeps the Australian game developers.
They did, and I feel like that's pretty well deserved. I think that Wayward Strand, I think, was robbed a little bit, because I would have liked to see maybe one of those awards go to Wayward Strand.
Bit of a like Spider-Man in the same year as God of War kind of a
Kinda, yeah. Like they're both really good games, so like I get it. But yeah, Cult of the Lamb, pretty neatly cleaned. A lot of the awards, which was cool. Clean house, I think is what I meant. Clean shop.
Neatly cleaned house.
Neatly cleaned.
Clean like a chicken bone.
Yeah. So that was Wednesday night. Thursday night, my favorite event every Games Week. It was the free play festival Parallels. Or Parallels. Parallels is the event.
I think it's Free Play presents Parallels.
I think that's correct. Because Free Play is a festival and Parallels is the night. Because there is a Free Play that in about 6 months on the other side of the year, which is a similar event. But Parallels is a showcase, which if you have been listening for any of the other previous
Anytime.
yeah, like any of the other Games Week years, you will know that Parallels I think is the best, and I love it, and it was great. It was great again this year. It was a little bit looser this year. There was like a little bit more downtime in between games, which ended up meaning that they were running short on time towards the end, and but got to see some really cool games. What
was Frog Detective 3 there?
Yes. Just like
I'm looking at the presentation list.
Yes, yeah. So there were some really sick games. Frog Detective 3 being one of them. You can ride on a scooter now as the frog.
Great, that's sick.
Which is really funny. It was funny when Grace and Tom of Worm Club got on stage to show off the game. Grace was on the mic and Tom was playing, and Grace said like, and in Frog Detective 2 you could do this, and Tom presses a button, you can start to scoot around, and she's like, this is why it's been taking so long. Ian McClarty's game, Mars First, what's it
Logistics.
Mars First Logistics. I keep forgetting the name of it. Which I'll talk about soon.
Because he keeps naming things with really strange words.
Yes.
What was the last one called that he did?
Red Desert Renderer, or the Catacombs.
No, the one before that was like
the Catacombs of Solaris Revisited.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Got to meet Ian, which was great.
Great.
I'll talk about that a little bit later because I played Mars First. And yeah, free play was great as always. Really good, really welcoming, really positive. Some quite personal stories. Some funny stories, some funny games. It was just.
How many people were there?
It was sold out. So the auditorium that they had in RMIT's building, it's probably about 200 people, maybe 150.
Oh, like a lecture hall kind of.
Yeah. Like it was.
Okay, cool.
It's a lecture hall. Maybe more actually.
Did you all were you all sitting in desks that had the like flip up?
No. It was more.
desks?
It was more of a theater space.
Okay.
Shuhei Yoshida was in the back as well, watching the show. Shuhei.
Oh right, cool.
Like I saw him at the Agders and I saw him at Parallels and saw him from afar at PAX as well. When he was at,
did you ever close the distance?
No, I didn't. Not in a way that I could.
Buddy even got to close the distance, didn't he? He got a selfie with Shuhei.
Did he? I didn't see.
I think so.
That's cool.
Close the distance.
Towards the end of the show, someone's phone was ringing really, really loudly, and everyone's looking at it like, "What whose phone that is? Who has shoes?" which was funny.
Yeah, Buddy got a photo.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. And then that's Thursday night, and I come home Thursday night, and I'm like, okay, and I get home, and I'm like,
here comes the weekend,
and I'm like, oh, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's PAX.
Yeah.
I'm going to PAX tomorrow. And so I'm like getting all my things in my bag and I'm deciding what I'm going to wear so I can just put on my clothes and go in the morning, like
Is it late? Like
no, like I didn't do anything after Parallels on Thursday, so like I got home and I was sitting at home at about 9:30, 10 o'clock. But just, pretty fucking thrilled, honestly. Pretty excited. And that's right, just before free play, I stopped over at the Melbourne Exhibition Centre, picked up my badge.
Got your badge.
Got my media badge.
That's a nice badge this year.
Yeah, it's a little small. The lanyards they had were terrible, so I went over to see Shane at Game on Cancer, and he gave me a really nice Game on Cancer lanyard, which feels much nicer. And it was much nicer around my neck. Thank you, Shane.
Is this Shane in chat, or Shane that we know, or a third Shane?
Shane that was in chat. Shane Bailey. Yeah, and then it got to Friday morning and I went, well, fucking buckle up. Better
Here we go.
Better go to PAX. So, yeah, I then went to PAX Friday morning. There was an hour earlier for people to go in who were media and influencers and exhibitors could go in even earlier than that to like get their booths ready. But yeah, like media influencers could go in an hour early. And so I was then at PAX, which was fucking wild to be at PAX again.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel welcomed home, Jeremy?
I did feel welcome home, Gary. I cannot tell you how nice it was to be back. Genuinely,
I mean, you've been talking about this since they announced that they were doing it 12 months ago. You've been like, PAX is happening next year. I'm so excited. And I'm like, is it?
Yep.
Is it happening next year? And it did. Good on them. But
it did, and it was like great. It was like a really good PAX. It was interesting because there was no Sony, there was no no Microsoft, no Ubisoft.
No Sony, but Shuhei was there. That's fascinating.
So I'm reading between the lines. I'm pretty like he was there working. Obviously, Gregor Ice was there as well, and some other folks from Sony partners were there as well. Like they were there networking and talking to people. They weren't there showing anything off. What would Sony even have to show off at the moment, right? Like no one's played God of War yet, or if they have, it's just gone gold like less than a week ago.
Yeah, I don't know if we're even going to get a preview for God of War. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Now's the kind of time we'd be hearing about it. Like all the Gotham Knights previews went out last week. Like, yeah,
it was.
I know
it was odd. But yeah, like so there was just shows that were. Sorry, there were just booths that like a lot of indie booths. Square Enix were there showing off Final Fantasy 14, and you could play, I think, some of their new content early. But then, like aside from that, there was like a lot of hardware manufacturers. There was like PDP, there was Audio Technica, AMD with there, Intel with there, HTC with there. Like like the PC part manufacturers were there, like
Yeah, like Aftershock.
Yeah. Secret Labs were there showing us some chairs. Like
I get it, but that's very funny.
Yeah, it's a funny sentence. As well as like there was like some telcos that were there to show off like just like I don't know, change from Telstra Optus to this random telco that keeps like marketing to gamers. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Aussie Broadband were there. I don't know, it was just very funny to see those. But then the indie section was huge, and I think
bigger than normal, or
I think so, because there were indie games not in the indie booth as well, because there was an area which was NZ Code, which is New Zealand. I'm not sure, like
a programmers collective.
Yeah,
or something?
well, like not even programmers, just like game developers like association, I guess.
Okay,
they were there with the booth, so a bunch of like New Zealand students and just developers were there to able to show off their games, and I think that they got comped spots in those booths. I think
that's cool. So, they probably pooled their resources for a spot.
Yeah, like it was a large spot. It wasn't like one booth. It was like it was like probably they had, I think, about 8 stations in the size of maybe what might be like 3 booths. So like it was sized really well. There was a Tasmanian developers booth. And of course, there's like Swinburne, RMIT, AIE.
You see anyone you recognize there? The old stomping ground?
Not at AIE. I don't know anyone there. I don't know anyone there anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Just fine.
I was gonna say, it hasn't been that long, and then I'm like, oh shit, fuck, it's been that long.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the very first hour is, guess what? Go find out what you want to do and go and do it, because there are going to be lines. So
right, yes. To make this clear for the audience, you as press, you get to go onto the show floor an hour before it's open to the public.
An hour before.
So what's that? 9 before 10, right?
Yes, 9 before 10. So I beelined to the Sonic Frontiers booth.
Yes.
I was there with.
Actually, brought your tweet about this up in a discussion
really?
this weekend. Yeah.
Well, let me just.
I was talking to someone who's like, I can't play God of War. Sonic is coming out that week. And I was like, good on him. I was like, oh yeah, my friend played that. Let me see what they said. Ooh.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Just gonna throw it to the trailer section of the show while I talk about the thing that I saw that was on screen. I go to the Sonic Frontier booth. I bump into Leah Williams from Games Hub, and I'm like trying to introduce myself, and then someone's like, "You want to play Sonic right now?" And we're like, "Yep, let's go." And so we start to fucking play this game, and I cannot tell you how not very good this game is.
Oh, Jeremy, no.
This game is not very good at all.
Like, not that it's surprising, but like, it's the same thing I said when Anthem came out, right? Like, I don't want this game to suck. I don't want this game to fail.
It just does. So I was, I've got my notebook here. I took many pages of notes from different games that I saw. The Sonic Frontier page just says, Sonic is weird, man.
It is weird.
There is so much Breath of the Wild in this game. But there's also skill trees. There is maps with markers. There is big,
so it's like
wide open sections of like empty space that you're running through. There is a stamina meter that is a little circle next to your character, as apparently all stamina meters are now at this point.
Yep.
Which includes running uses stamina. Doesn't use a lot. You can run for quite a while.
What? You can't run forever as Sonic?
So you can run and then you can sprint, right? So like there is running, but then there is sprinting. Sprinting uses stamina. I never once ran out of stamina while playing this game.
Oh, okay.
It was really weird to the point like, why is it even here?
Why is it in there?
Why is it even there? The combat is bad. The combat is this weird, you've got this auto attack, like not auto attack, but auto aim attack function that you like, it's the jump in the air and then...
Oh, so it's Sonic combat from 20 years ago introduced with Sonic Adventure 2, right?
Yes. And then you've also got like a rapid fire kick button that also feels like shit. The auto battle attacking thing that it got boring so quickly, and I played this for maybe 20 minutes. Right, I played a quick demo, and I was already really over this combat.
So I saw one of like the IGN first gameplay. Is that the ones where you're like facing the robots and you stun them, and then you have to do that really fast attack thing?
Yeah,
is that what that is?
Yeah. There was another attack as well where you like run and like a trail shows up behind you, and then you can trail into a circle around an enemy, and then like slashes will happen inside that circle, like a Pokemon attack. I don't know. It was weird. The
best Pokemon game I've ever played.
Yeah, right. I cannot tell you how boring this game is to look at. So we've got a trailer up now with like a bunch of like, visually quite interesting sections, castles, roads, all of this stuff, right? The demo that I played was rainy grassland, right? Dull, overcast, rainy grassland with some of the worst pop-in that I have seen in a very long time. And these are not running on Xboxes. These are not running
or
on...
like Switches.
Yeah, there's not running on an Xbox, not running on a Switch, not running on a PlayStation 5. This is running on a high-end gaming PC with a giant fuck-off graphics card in the middle of it.
Like you could see the PC.
I looked at the PC. I didn't recognize a graphics card because I don't know a graphics card that well, but they were high-end graphics card. It was big. This seems not good, what I have written down in my notes. I get to a point now, I go up to a computer and I enter this computer in like a Tron-esque, Matrix-esque kind of way. And inside of this computer is Green Hill Zone in 3D. And it looks great. It's bright, it's colorful. The wind is blowing through the grass. I'm doing loops on the Green Hill Zone, like
it's like 2D gameplay.
No, 3D. Like the same gameplay as Sonic Frontier, but I'm in a Green Hill Zone adaptation, and it was awesome. And then 2 minutes later, it put me back in this grainy, boring, overcast rain field, and I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why would you make this the place? Why is this the place that you keep showing off?
Yeah.
Green Hill Zone was lovely to look at, bright, colorful, pretty, and then bam, back to rainy shit. I don't think this game is very good. I went in going, what if this is a really good Sonic game? Like, I was like, I was a little bit like, what if this is great? Like, that would be fun.
You're ready for them to surprise you if they could.
Yep.
Yeah.
these monsters, they look like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, like
Yeah.
robots,
These, like mech things.
yeah, like they look like Mechon. I don't know, it's not very good.
Damn, that sucks.
That does
I
suck.
remember hearing something earlier this week about how, like all the messaging and like all the interviews with the developers and stuff has been like, oh, is there any chance of a delay? And all the messaging has been like, no, this is coming out in November. This is coming out in November.
Yeah.
It is coming out
I don't
in
get
November.
it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, like what deadline are they trying to hit? Like, is Sega about to like sell the property or lose the IP or something? Like,
No, but I wonder, like, is there
it's Tony Hawk.
is there Sonic Netflix thing coming out soon? That animated show?
I don't know.
I don't know
I
either.
don't know, but like maybe they could have held on to Sonic Origins, made that good, and put that out in November.
What? Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
I then go over to the PAX Rising section, to some of the indie area, and I immediately go over because I want to play Mars First Logistics. So I did.
Having seen it at Parallels the night before.
Having seen it at Parallels and having seen basically every single development tweet that Ian has made.
That's true, yes. You are a big fan of Ian's, aren't you?
Yeah, so we spoke a bit, and I told him how much I like basically every game that he's made, and then I get to play Mars vs. Logistics, and let me tell you, I am bad at this video game. Let me tell you, I am not good at this, especially when there are people behind me, and it is very warm in the convention center, and I am wearing one too many layers and sweating a little bit as people are watching me play.
The first hour of PAX.
The first hour of PAX.
When you haven't,
climatized.
Like, hit homeostasis.
Yes, I have not become room temperature yet. There's a demo out for this game, I found out, which is really cool.
This looks sick.
Visually it looks really good. All of the terrain, as Ian was talking about, at his talk in Parallels, it's all randomly, like, algorithmically generated, all the terrain, which is really cool. It controls all right when I'm driving, but also you decide how you want to build the trucks and the rovers and stuff. So it's kind of it felt like that maybe I just didn't have a very good truck. Because
how similar is it to something like Trailmakers?
That's what I'm thinking, right? It's physics based, right? So Mars First Logistics is a game where you control a Mars rover on Mars. You can build it using blocks, sort of like Lego, and you then get missions to then move things around and get materials to then take to a base, and so then a building can get built, sort of thing. It's made by, I think, 2 or 3 people. Visually, like, it's got this like interesting cell shaded esque kind of like Sable terrain.
Yeah,
like
Rolladrome.
Yeah, like look to the world. Where, like, as the same with dust particles and stuff, they sort of turn into big spherical clouds that follow behind you. But it's all flat colors, and all the colors are all determined by like the time of day and the shaders. And the actual the actual gameplay part of it is you driving around driving around this rover on Mars, putting things in places so that then you can build up buildings and complete contracts for the astronauts that are on Mars. These astronauts, by the way, are so funny and little and cute. They're these cute little chubby astronauts that like just sort of like wander around, and they've all got jetpacks, and so if you try and drive into them, they will then jetpack above about like a couple centimeters just like above where you are, so you can't actually hit them. Which is
impressive because your thing can be many different sizes and shapes depending on how you make it.
Yeah. It detects how tall you are.
That's great.
My notes here saying visually this is really nice, and then I wrote the words astronauts with 3 exclamation marks, and then I wrote I am so bad at this in 2 exclamation marks. One of the most amazing things about this game, right, is that you can share your creations with other people. So you can build up a rover of your own and share it. And the way you share it is you will download a PNG. And I can give you that PNG of my rover, and I shit you not, embedded in the transparent pixels of this PNG is what the game can read. So the game can read the is the code for the thing that you're sharing.
Like in the alpha channel.
Yes.
What the hell?
The alpha channel is capturing the rover that you've created, so I can give someone the pin. I'm holding my hand out like I'm giving someone a photograph.
You could just share an image on Twitter of
Yes.
your rover and be like, hey, look at this thing. And then anyone could take that image and stick it in their game, and the game will decode
the alpha channel.
channel.
Yes. How incredible is that?
That's amazing.
How amazing is that? I was talking to Ian about this, and I'm like, this is like, that's one of the most clever things I've ever seen a game do. And he goes, thanks, like, I'm really proud of it. Like, and he goes, like, I'm not the first one to do it, but yeah, I think it's great. Like, it's really good.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Right? How awesome is that?
Yeah. Wow.
Yes,
okay,
right?
that's mind-blowing a little bit.
Right? How just so incredibly impressive is that?
I didn't know the alpha channel was that, like...
I don't know.
Complex. I didn't know you could put that much complex information in it.
It might not be in the alpha. I don't know where it is. I'm assuming it's in the alpha because, like he said, in the transparent pixels. But I don't know how it does it. I don't know. It's magic. That's magic.
Fascinating.
And also, I was talking to him about the generation of the terrain. I was like, because Red Desert Renderer is also a terrain generating game where that's largely it. Like that was just inspired by Ian going into the out of bounds areas in Red Dead Redemption 2 online and him enjoying how fucked up everything looked. And then him trying to make his own version of that. And I said, like, how much of Red Desert Renderer is in this? And he goes, it's actually the same code. At least that's where it started. Like he just plugged it directly in, and then made a game around that.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this makes sense.
Yes, totally. There's going to be plenty of contracts, and he's talking about having like a generation of contracts after you've done the main story as well, so that you can theoretically have endless amount of playing, which is
there
cool.
A date?
I don't remember. I actually haven't got.
I can have a look.
Yeah, have a look. I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. I actually asked.
Okay.
I asked that of every single developer I spoke to. Is there a release date? Is there a release window? Didn't write a single one down.
Well, thank God you asked all of them.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that on Sunday, being like, I keep asking this, and then not actually doing anything with it.
That is hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
There's nothing on Steam. I'll have a look at the website, but it's just the Steam community page. Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, while you do that, I'm going to talk about something else that I played.
Please.
Got to go hands-on with the Steam Deck.
Oh, no shit. Who had it there?
A couple of developers, actually.
Right.
Didn't get like a lot of time on it, and I was only playing 2 games because it was the developers' booths at those games.
Right. So you were simultaneously demoing games and Steam Decks.
Yeah. That was a game that I wasn't really that keen on playing, but I got in line because I wanted to play it on the Steam Deck. Fuck, this game console is tight.
Yeah?
Fuck, it's good. It is got a great screen. The analog sticks are good. It feels good. It's heavy. It's nice. But it's not like too heavy. It's sturdy, and the thought of playing like, high-end games on it is just like awesome. I don't know. I really want one so fucking badly.
Oh, I mean,
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's got so much hype. But yeah, it's good hearing you talk about it. Like, did you use the touchpads?
I did a little bit.
Or was there not much reason for it?
There wasn't really any reason for it. One of the games had a cursor, so I could sort of use it as a mouse, but like I wasn't really doing it anyway. I was talking to people who were making games for the Steam Deck, and I was like, "What's it like developing for it?" He goes, "Like, it's the same executable. it's like,
yeah, it's a PC.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, have you had to do anything? And he's like, nah, like it just works out of the box. I'm like, that's amazing. And they're like, yeah, I can't really believe it. Someone's like,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Someone said like, I was kind of preparing to have to like spend a couple of days on it to get it working, but like it took
Like
me
optimizing.
yeah, it's like it took me like an hour. I was like, that's amazing.
That's cool.
So yeah, I got to hands on with that. I don't have anything like really major to say aside from this thing is really cool and I really want one.
Yep.
But like I want a Steam Deck.
Sam, so I was laughing like two minutes ago because Sam's in the chat, but is like on the phone, and so is only watching, and just writes, "What the hell is that thing?" And so describe it, and Sam just says, "It looks so uncomfortable." It's so funny. I have always thought it does look uncomfortable. Like one of the main criticisms of it has been how clunky it is. Like it's quite chunky.
It is a chunky console. It is a big Switch.
Like I've heard for anyone with short or small hands, like it's borderline not worth it because of how big it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's worth saying that my hands cramp while I'm using the Joy-Cons because they're so small. So like
yeah, I don't know anyone who doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyone whose hands don't. Sentence.
Apparently Ollie's don't, which is hilarious.
What?
His hands are bigger than mine.
Maybe they're so big that he can like rest them properly.
This next game, quickly, Kerry, what time are we on?
We're at 45 minutes.
All right,
halfway point, almost exactly.
Cool. I'll get through this one. That's pretty good that I guessed that. I'll go through this one, then we'll go for a break, and we'll come back, and I'll round up some more stuff.
Right.
This game is called Dead Pets Unleashed.
Dead Pets.
Dead Pets Unleashed. This is a visual novel-ish. Like it's a visual novel / like adventure game, where you are a member of a punk band, called the Dead Pets.
Okay.
And
you're not actually dead pets.
No.
Oh, thank God.
And you are in a punk band, low on money, struggling to do things like pay rent, work, and there are a lot of activities in this game that you do, which are little mini games. So doing a shift is you running around tables, doing being a waiter, taking orders, bringing food, and just like it gets that is how you do work. And then in your punk band, it becomes a rhythm game when you're doing like playing the songs, which were pretty cool that I quite enjoyed. This game is really funny. It's written really, really well. It's very feminist. It's very queer. It's very good. The style of it is really sick. I played that game, and then chatted to one of the developers after, and I sort of sat there going like, yeah, I want to just play this now. And they're like, yeah, like it's like they seem really happy with it. Also, everyone's demons. I forgot to mention this. Everyone's a demon and ghoul-y kind of person.
Okay.
In this city. Like there's this city. There's like a top-down view of it, and there's like skyscraper buildings and stuff. But there's also just like I couldn't tell if it was a statue of a person leaning against a building, or if it was a giant demon leaning against a building that is a landmark.
Right.
I couldn't go over there. Like there wasn't anything for me to click on to go over there at that point. But I would like to find out more. One of the first things you do in this demo, at least that I played, was you wake up and you then go into the bathroom and clean your vibrator. And then you...
Oh, is that what that was? I thought it was like a demon hand.
No. And then you go over to the closet and decide what outfits you want to wear. And I couldn't tell if this was a joke or if this was just because the game's still in development, but there was a choice of 2 outfits. And there was like outfit 1 and outfit 2 were the same, aside from 2 had a jacket. And I couldn't tell if that was like a funny punk band commentary or it was still in development. Yep. Either way, I don't want that to change for that section of the game because it's very funny. Yeah, Dead Pets Unleashed, really cool. Just a really funny, fun, sick game.
Let's see if that one has a release date. Seeing as you didn't write it down.
Seeing as I didn't write it. I don't know if I asked it, actually.
Pardon?
I don't know if I asked them. I don't remember asking them. If they...
Planned release date, when we're ready to rock.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's what it says on Steam. Like in the bit where it normally says like October 26th.
Yeah. Yeah.
They launched a Kickstarter only like a month ago, September 5th.
Yeah, right. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. That's cool. Good on them.
Want to throw it to a break?
Yeah, let's go to a break. It's just going to be a bit more of what Jeremy's week was like and weekend was like.
And I'll talk about PAX as a convention as a whole, and you can hear me become incredibly unhinged talking about Play to Partner.
Play to Partner. Get ready, everyone.
I might do that.
Do you want to be the best streamer in the world? You and millions of others can be. It's going to happen. Don't worry. Don't you worry your little head about it. We're going to hear all about that possibility after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the MiniMapCast. If I was a little slow on the draw there, I heard a scratch at the door, like right as you press the transition button. I was like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, oh, welcome back. Wow. Spooky season. There's not really much for us to... I don't really think there's any preamble, Jeremy. It's time to continue to talk about PAX.
Yeah, I'll jump on in. I'll begin this segment, I think, continue to talk about PAX, but I want to talk about, first of all, what I was doing over the 3 days, because there's sort of a lot to do, and then I kind of want to go into the weirdest thing that I found at PAX.
Okay. Well, there's two things I want to make sure we cover before we get to the weird thing.
Okay.
One of them is what happened to the PAX show.
Yes.
And the second one is I want to ask you how PAX felt.
Yeah, sure.
But
those are all, they're all kind of the same thing. So I can get through those now. So what I was doing at PAX, a lot of what I was doing is hanging around the indies and talking to developers and,
loitering.
Like loitering in a way that I'm like, I want to talk to you, but you're talking to someone else. I'm going to hang out here and kind of pretend to watch your game, but also watch your game, and then wait until you're free to converse. So there was a bit of that. And also just like, looking around at all of the different things, because there's a lot to do at PAX, even if you're not going to panels, which I didn't go to any panels at all this year, not for any particular reason, aside from I was just sort of busy doing things. But there's a lot of things to do. There's the hilarious Just Dance booth, as always, there.
Yep.
Not showing off the next Just Dance game, but there's just there's a dance stage where they just have Just Dance going all day, and a big long line of people wanting to do it. And
wait, did they not have a new Just Dance area either?
Ubisoft weren't there.
Oh, I didn't know Ubisoft went there either.
Yeah, no, Ubisoft went. Well, so I will get to that because they were, but they weren't. Ubisoft were not on the expo floor at all.
Right.
This is what I mean. There was no major publishers.
Yeah, except Square Enix with Final Fantasy XIV.
Yes. Aside from that. But there's a speed running section, and there's an upstairs area up where GCAP is usually held at PAX, where they had they've got a Pokemon Battle League in there. They've got some more games over there. They had there was a Wayward Strand booth, there was a Checkpoint Gaming booth, there was some other stuff as well. And there's also more rooms to have smaller panels up around there as well. So what I sort of do around there is just talk to as many people as I can, and then go back to the press room and just breathe for a bit and have some water,
right,
and have a snack, and then get up and do it again.
Yeah,
and go back out into the masses, into the fight.
Man, food is so important for conventions.
I forgot to say, Street Fighter 6 was there as well, which I got to play. I haven't really taken any notes for it because I don't really know a lot about Street Fighter. Like I've played 2 a bit, but like I don't know it super well. I played it and like I won a few matches against the easy difficulty AI, but like I don't know what to look for to see like, hey, if this is a good one or not.
Try their new control scheme? Did you try that? They've got that like simplified control scheme.
I didn't know. Like I just jumped in. People there seem to have a really good time with it. Like I didn't like anyone I spoke to about Street Fighter 6 wasn't like, yeah, no, this one isn't good. Like they're like, yeah, this one seems really good.
Yeah, I've only heard positive things about it.
Yeah, it sounds like from people that know that it's going to be a good one. And visually, it's really quite cool as well. I quite liked seeing it, and the background's really detailed and all that stuff. So got to play that. Some people doing like there was someone there who was playing had a keyboard and was playing video game music, but was taking requests. And then it's like, I don't know that one, and so he listens to it for about 30 seconds and go, I can play that, and then starts to play it, which is
that's nuts.
So impressive, so impressive.
It's like Lara with all the numbers like 6687 or whatever. She does a very similar thing.
Right.
Twitch streams.
Yeah. So it gets to Friday, and I'm like, oh my god, a whole day of PAX. Hit 29,000 steps that day, which is a lot. It's like a lot of fucking steps. I was walking around from 6 a.m. that day, which was pretty.
6.
Yeah, pretty. Like that was when I woke up, and then
Jeez.
Yeah, like because I went with my partner into the city a bit earlier and went around and got some food. Bought a sandwich from a shop. And I was like, hey, like, can I have this toasted feta and veggie sandwich in the morning at 7:45, 8 o'clock, whatever? I'm like, this sounds like a perfect thing to have for breakfast. And they're like, yep, sure. And they give it to me, and it's in a sealed box, and it is from a fridge. And I'm like, well, I've already hit pay, so I guess I'm having this. And then right? How upsetting. How
sealed box.
Like, you know, like a 7-Eleven sandwich.
Oh.
Really annoying. Never gonna go back there. So yeah, it gets a Friday night, bunch of us go out drinking, good fun. Get to Saturday, very tired, quite hungover. Go into PAX, do a bunch of stuff, got some meetings on Saturday, see some games, yada yada. Gets to about 6 o'clock. The expo hall closes. Sitting in the press room.
Saturday night. It's the weekend. Everyone's here.
Everyone's here. I'm sitting in the press room. 6 o'clock. Expo hall's closing. You can see everyone leaving the exhibition center. And I sit there and I'm chatting to a couple people that are in the press room who I don't know who they are, but they were very nice to talk to. And then I just close my eyes a little bit.
Oh, no.
And just a little bit, and my head goes down to my chest, and I fall asleep for about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and I wake up and I realize where I am, and I'm like, I'm gonna go home. I'm not gonna go out drinking tonight. I'm going to go home.
That's a sensible decision, Jeremy.
And it was honestly a really good decision. It was nice to go home, had some dinner, watched some Andor. It was good. Sunday, same thing, and then after that, Megadev. The everyone is done with Games Week event, drink up night, nice time, positive time. Spoke to someone that you and I saw a panel of years and years, and do you remember the first time?
Is it that press one?
Mm-hmm.
What was it? It was Lucy O'Brien was there,
yeah,
I want to say.
Lucy O'Brien was there. Dave Milner was there.
Yeah.
And a couple folks from GameSpot Australia were there back when that was a thing that was happening.
Yeah.
And James O'Connor was there.
Yes.
I
was like, that guy who I always see on Twitter, what's his name?
Yeah. Spoke to him at Megadev.
Great.
And reminisced about how that panel was the beginning of it was when we were deciding to do this.
Really? Was that 2017? Was that when we were still at uni?
Yep.
I thought that was after. That's amazing.
No, we were still technically at uni at that point.
Right.
I
So
think-
we were still making games and
Yeah, but
we were
both
about to hit.
both of us had. I think we had spoken about not wanting to do game development, but wanting to do like journalism.
Yeah, the thing that happened was like we finished our like big group work like 2 weeks before the end of the semester. So it was like mid-November.
Yeah.
And then I remember you sent a message to me and to a couple of other people, June included, which was like, hey, instead of putting all this time and energy into a website about us making game devs stuff, do you want to put time and energy into one website together where we could do like writing and commentary and stuff?
Yeah,
And
cool stuff.
I definitely wanted to do that rather than what I was doing.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so I spoke to him about that, and he found that hilarious in a really good way. We had a good chat.
Well, that panel was it was a very friendly panel. Like the 4 or 5 of them up there, it was very much just like them just chatting about stuff.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, like that was what happened. So while I was at PAX, I had a booth booked to do a podcast. I spoke to someone who was working at PAX, and they had a free booth, and I was like, great, cool. Like it was one spot left, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Friday. You have 2 hours. And I was like, great, cool. And I was like, is there equipment? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, how many people can fit? And they're like, 4. I'm like, great, perfect, cool. And I'm like DMing people, talking to people, you know, messaging mutual followers, and like, hey, like, you around? You want to do a podcast? Couldn't get anyone. Everyone.
But like the
everyone
people
was
you were
busy.
talking to, they were keen, but everyone was busy at that time.
No one said, no, I don't want to do it. Everyone said, I'm going to a panel here. I'm on a booth at that point. I'm a day job on Friday. Shuhei's keynote. Yeah, Shuhei's keynote starts in like 45 minutes after you start, sort of thing. Like, I want to be at that. Like, it was just an unfortunate time for it.
Yeah.
I then start to explore the convention center, and I get told that like a few days prior to PAX that like where the booth is, and it's in a place called Streamland, which no one had heard of, which I couldn't see any writing for on the maps. And I'm like, I don't know where this is. But it got to Friday, and I'm like, look, it's not going to happen. So I sent him a message saying, hey, like, if you've got anyone who was wanting one, you know, feel free to give it to them. I'm not going to be able to make it. I can't put a show together today. And they're like, yep, cool, no worries. And then I ended up finding these booths, these podcast booths, and they are
on the floor.
So it's in the other building.
Yep.
In sort of the open,
past the Just Dance area.
No, just before the Just Dance area. It's in the open, space near where the plenary is.
Yes.
Which is a weird spot for a podcast booth, especially one without a ceiling.
Oh no, that place is so boomy.
And in front of it, behind a DJ. Like a dude, like with like headphones and
How loud was it?
So fucking loud.
Like PAX loud.
Like the same level of loud as the booths at PAX that are like yay brands. It's though like fucking booming, huge speakers, 2 giant speakers.
Like you can hear it from all the way away.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And the music was not good. It was like no one there was vibing to this music.
Was it constant?
It was pretty constant.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was bizarre. And I looked at it.
They put the podcast booths next to that?
And there was also streaming booths as well next to it as well, if you wanted to stream at PAX.
No.
Look, I don't know what the sound level was like inside. Maybe it wasn't so bad. But damn. So Audio Technica also had a podcast booth there as well. And theirs was like a booth. Theirs was like a huge room, table in the middle, bunch of equipment. Paul James did an episode of Dev Diary there, on the show floor, and it looked great. And they also do the edit, they give you a finished podcast at the end of it, which is great. Like they'll do the editing for you.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun.
It's like the mixing, not the cut, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, next year, I'll get in there.
Talk to them first.
Yeah. Next, I'll be in contact.
Yep.
So yeah, so no PAX Pod this year, but that's fine. I might just try and get some of those people on other episodes of different shows that we have anyway. Which will be fun. the feeling of PAX, the vibe,
Yeah.
the general, the mood.
Coming back after hiatus, first PAX after COVID, after lockdowns. How was it?
Like amazing. like so positive. Like everybody was happy. Every single person was happy. It was so welcoming. It was so joyful. Kind of relieving in a way. Like it was nostalgic, and it was nice. It was good. I'm still high on it. Honestly, it just
Great.
felt so. Like I'd missed it. I just missed it for such a long time. PAX is so. I mean, Games Week as a whole in Melbourne is wonderful. It's not perfect. It's never perfect. But it was really good. It was so good to meet people for the first time who I'd met online over the past couple of years, which is great. It was great to just bump into people that then I'm like, hey, like you're cool, let's follow each other, sort of thing. Get into random conversations with random people at different events. One or two people said that they've heard of MiniMap, and I don't know if they're being polite. I don't know. That'd be nice.
We'll see.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, all right.
Make
me cry, why don't you?
Yeah, right. But yeah, it was good. It was a good, positive time, and it was so nice to walk around the space and just continuously bump into people that I know and haven't seen in a long time.
Cool.
Like once an hour. Oh my god, you're here.
That's cool.
Oh my god, I'm here. Oh my god, we're here. Sort of things. Like it was great. It was really good.
Awesome.
I'm very much looking forward to doing it all again next year.
Yeah, I hope I'm feeling more comfortable with things then. I mean, I probably will be, but yeah, it's definitely been listening to this has sounded very fun.
If it's made you feel if it makes you feel any better, I don't know anyone that is tested positive this week. Not a single person. GCAP, I don't think has hit anyone tested positive that I can see.
Right, which is like a week ago now.
Yeah, it's been a long enough time that we would we won't know until like next week towards the end, like what PAX is what PAX is in terms of that stuff. But like I know one person who's sick, and every day that is like, yeah, I'm doing alright, and it's negative. It's not. It just turns out being like having a. The Pax Pox still exists,
Yes.
There is still just general sickness around as well.
Turns out being around tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, and like nearly every indie booth had hand sanitizer. They were wiping down controllers a fair bit. Like not every use, but like fairly regularly. Hand sanitizer everywhere. I was wearing a mask the whole time. Maybe like
I was going to say, what was the mask usage like?
Yeah, like I think it was probably about 40%. Like there was a lot of people who were not wearing them. But people who were there, like a lot of people who were there doing a booth, like a lot of those people were wearing them. It was not a like I wasn't one out of 100 wearing it, for example.
Yep, totally.
So
yeah, Sam and I went to a comedy poetry show, which is really cool. About a month ago now, and yeah, we were like one of 7 people out of, I don't know, like 300 or 400 people there. I was like, oh.
Yeah. The actors, no one was wearing one at all. Like basically,
right?
Including me, and I'm just like, well, I'm drinking, so I don't know how to think about it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? At that point, yeah, it gets really tricky.
So
yeah,
no, it was great. PAX was just a very, very positive thing. I'm so
Jeremy,
happy.
what are you going to do with yourself tomorrow on your day off?
I'm gonna try and put together a thing. Talk about some of the games I saw. Probably just like a written thing, maybe for the first time in 2 years. Like a right. See if I can churn that out.
Exciting.
I also want to talk about a thing. I don't know what it is yet in terms of how I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it now, but I want to do more on it, but I'm just not sure yet. So let me tell you about a thing that I got an email about leading up to PAX. which I sent to you going, what is this?
Yeah.
Um,
Want to be a pro gamer?
yeah. So
I'm just reading the
Yeah.
the buzzwords on the trailer that Jeremy just started.
yeah. So there was, I got an email. So as part of media, you get put on a press list, and people who are showing off games can send you an email saying, hey, do you want to book a ticket? Let's book a ticket, book a meeting so you can come check out our game. One of the ones I got was a game that, and I quote, guarantees, end quote, that you will make it to partner playing this game. Is
it worth me reading out?
What, the email?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go through it now anyway.
Okay.
I saw a game and a platform that was being shown at PAX called Steam Core is the name of the game. The studio is November Games. And the platform is known as Play to Partner. Now, this game guarantees that if you stream this game enough, you will make it to partner. Not affiliate. Partner. Now, I'm somewhat of a skeptic sometimes when it comes to stuff like this, right? But I looked at that and went, what is this? I've never heard of this before in my life. I need to check this out. I 100% need to see what this is. So I went over to the booth, spoke to the lead person at the studio.
Lead of the game or of the platform?
The both.
Okay.
I think he's the founder of the studio, and the head of the company.
Oh man.
So my general impressions. This is from Friday. I spoke to him twice. I spoke to him on Friday, and then I spoke to Tegan about it from Queens of the Drone Age on Saturday, being like, you gotta check this thing out. Like, what is this? And then I went back on Sunday to talk to him more with a pen and paper in hand, saying,
I have more questions.
Yeah, saying I really enjoyed our chat on Friday. It was really good to talk to you. Do you mind if I ask you some of those questions again and some more questions, but this time so I can actually get down as much information as I can so I know what I'm saying is accurate? And he goes, yep, sure, let's do it. So the way he described what this thing is, right? I'm bringing it in. I'm bringing it back into the close-up.
I really don't know what's about to happen.
So, the game itself is just like a third-person game where you're shooting other astronauts on a planet, spherical planet, collecting these cogs. The game itself is just like a video game. And I'm like, okay, can you explain to me how this play to partner stuff really works? And he starts talking to me, and he starts explaining that the way the game works is when you sign up, when you use their platform that is running inside of the game, you connect your Twitch account to it so that if you stream the game knows that you are streaming it.
So it's hooked into Twitch.
Yeah.
Cool.
For everybody that's playing that game, it will... behind the scenes, load up someone else's stream and watch it and become a viewer.
Right.
In the back end. You're not watching their stream. You're playing the game. But you become a viewer for someone else's stream.
An active viewer.
Theoretically. For someone else's stream. And the platform decides where to allocate people watching when and where. Which according to the developer, will be determined by who is at the top of the leaderboard. So,
is this a play to partner leaderboard or like the Twitch earnings leaderboard?
No. Like the game leaderboard. The game's leaderboard. Whoever is at the top at that point will get the largest percentage of viewers funneled to their stream.
Right. Okay.
Which is like, what the hell, right?
Yeah.
And I start talking to him, and I'm like, okay, so
this is like advanced follow for follow stuff.
Kinda,
It's just like
right?
like you made a game around follow for follow.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a view farm,
Yeah.
right? And I'm so
It's not bots.
it's not bots. It's
but-
active. It's active apparently. I've not tried this, so it's worth mentioning that that there is apparently a playable version on his Discord that I'm currently in. I haven't had a chance to play yet because I only just got home just before we started recording. Hopefully I'll get a chance to play it this week, and I'll let you know how it goes next week. But
What's it called? Steam Core?
Steam Core, yeah.
Let me tell you, there are a bunch of things
Yeah,
that aren't this.
Yeah, SEO not great on it. And we keep talking, and I'm like, okay, like, how does that guarantee you being a partner, right? Because then won't you get a stream that has got, let's say, for example, 5,000 viewers and no one chatting because everyone of those viewers are playing this game? And he goes, yes.
And they want more viewers too, and they want to be partner. So they're not going to be focusing on you. They're going to be focusing on themselves.
Yes. And so then what he says to me is that, okay, like, so what it does is we get you through Twitch's discovery algorithm. So we can get you onto the front page, but you still got to do the work to get the partner. I'm like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, that kind of goes against what you were saying, but okay. But I understand the concept of you artificially bumping people to the front of the queue to get people's eyes on you. And then I feel like if there's a stream that's got 5,000 viewers on it, there's a good chance 5,001 someone might start talking and you'll get more, potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
You get over the 0 viewers, the single digits hurdle.
Yes. Yeah, you get over the hump of no one watching, right?
If the game's any decent to watch.
Which is
and if you're any decent to watch.
Which is important, I feel, at least. But then I start talking to him about, like, okay, so, like, what's, like, how does your company work, right? Like, what is this thing? And he goes, so we've got this SDK, the software development kit, which is the play to partner thing. And he tells me he's going to give this away for free to any developer that wants to use it.
Okay.
That is what he has said to me.
Why?
He wants this. He's very pie in the sky about this. He sees this as the next big thing, right?
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
You believe in what you're making?
Yep.
Great.
Yep. This SDK is going to be given out for free. The way his business is operating currently is that he got an initial investment from a venture capitalist to fund the platform's development and the first game's development, is what he told me. So Steam Core and the Play to Partner platform have both been funded by a venture capitalist. I went back on Sunday and spoke to him further about that. The actual person from Alt Ventures, which is a venture capital, like a investment company from New Zealand, from one Chris Yeager, is the person who did it.
Okay, cool.
So like some of these notes are like a little bit silly, where I just said the words like what the hell, and then I said he says the word grind a lot, and then which is something that I just noticed. He was really focused on, like, you can get there and then you can grind, like, grind this game to become a partner. And I'm sitting here going, like, it kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I kind of leave this meeting going, like, this is so strange. This is so odd. The first meeting. Yeah. The meeting on Friday. Like, this is so strange. I don't know about this. This seems odd.
Did it have much? Was it like did it have a place on the show floor? Was it getting much attention?
Yeah. It was just in the indie area of PAX.
Okay.
He's from America. I'm not sure if he lives in Australia or not. But yeah, he's at least in the indie area. So I go back on Sunday. I'm like, hey, I want to just talk to you a little bit more. He's saying that he's working with Twitch to make this happen. Because my then immediate thought is like, okay, like, I feel like Twitch wouldn't be super cool with this, right? You're kind of artificially inflating a bunch of people's view accounts at any given moment.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're exploiting their algorithms to do things that they don't want their algorithms to do.
Yeah, and he goes, no, Twitch are all on board with this. He said to me that he had meetings with people at Twitch who were the senior developer at Twitch, the head of global strategy at Twitch, and the head of development at Twitch. And that he has a 3-month exclusivity contract with Twitch when it launches on, I think he said November 1st, which is very soon.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks.
I think he said November 1st. And I'm like, okay, like, and I'm like, so Twitch are on board with this, and he's like, yeah, they're super positive. Apparently, he came to them about it when he first had the idea, and they were like, yeah, like, cool, whatever, like, show us when it works. And so he went away and built it, and then showed it to them, and they were very positive. That is what he said to me.
3-month exclusivity.
And then
On what?
Like on Twitch, so that then like after that he can then shop it around to YouTube and other streaming platforms.
3 months isn't a very long exclusivity window.
That's what I thought. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay.
He said as a part of giving this Play to Partner SDK to developers, the only terms of service that they really want is that you are not allowed to monetize your game. Sorry, not allowed to monetize the player-to-player mechanic. So I guess you can't ask users to pay to become a Play to Partner member of your game, I guess. I then started to talk to him like how do you
what?
How do you make money? Like how does this work in terms of a thing that makes your business successful? And he goes, so for Steam Core, there's going to be in-app purchases. I said, okay.
Okay.
He goes, however, we're not going to be charging for the SDK. And he said to me that games are not part of my company's... The game sales are not really part of the company's 10-year plan. And I said, okay. And I'm like...
So you're making money only through... Do the Twitch people who become partners, theoretically... Do they have to give a cut to this person?
I've not read the any agreements yet. I don't know if you could ask that.
Neither do I. So then is Twitch getting a cut, or rather giving a cut for every like is this person getting like 30% of all the ad revenue from all of the users?
So I spoke to him about ads as well. I spoke to him about ads. I'm like, how do you manage, like, you know, Twitch has been really like coming down on ads lately. Like, you know, they want to really focus on partners.
All of these
ads.
Viewers are ad-free viewers.
Yes, and he said like, no, like the ads work. The ads work under the hood. I'm like, but don't you think that the people that are like trying
buying
to
the ad space.
Yeah, don't you think the people that are actually paying to make the ads show up on Twitch going to feel like they've been duped a little bit, that people's ads are going under the hood? And he was kind of saying that Twitch don't really have a good way of knowing who's actually watching the ads or not, aside from if it's muted or not, like, because they can't tell if someone's watching, and they have a hard enough time determining whether or not you're an active user if you've got multiple windows and tabs open at any given moment anyway.
Totally.
And so he doesn't seem too concerned about that at all, which is like, okay.
Even though it's Twitch approved.
Yes. I asked him what his 10-year plan was. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, this is kind of like a phase one of like a 10-year plan. And I'm like, what's your 10-year plan? He goes, I can't tell you that. I'm like, okay.
Just that he has one.
Yeah, just that he's got one. I was then talking to him like, how does this work for games that are not like competitive, right? Like, how would you, like, you know, for a game like Overwatch, for example, that has just come out, I can understand, you know, a bunch of people playing it, and, you know, it's very easy to have a number one person in a match, but how does it work for a single player game? How does it work for a game that doesn't have a win condition that is competitively tracked? And he was throwing out ideas saying like, well, first of all, I think like what would be a really good use case scenario is speed running. And I'm like, you know, like people that are close to hitting a world record would then suddenly get all the other people that are speedrunning this games. Like the viewers would be pointed to the person who's like speedrunning the closest to the world record.
kind of makes sense.
It kind of makes sense aside from there's not that many people speedrunning one game all at once. Right.
No.
What I meant to ask, which I didn't, which I might reach out to him on Discord and find out is this pooling everybody that is using this play to partner mechanic, or is it only pooling the specific games? Are Steam Core's players only going to be pooling towards Steam Core's streams, or if you have Overwatch using it, are all the people that are streaming Overwatch also going to count?
Like on the same leaderboard.
Well, are they going to get pulled across into someone that's, the best Overwatch player? The Steam Core players are going to be streaming the best Overwatch player in the background. I don't know the answer to that. He said, what it really does is it gets you discovery, player does the work to get to partner. And then I said to him, okay, if Twitch are allowing this, but they sort of can see these streams as really high viewer, low interaction streams, are they just not going to start weighting them less? Are they not going to weigh them lower in the discoverability because they know there's not really a whole lot happening in this chat?
It's not easy. It's not difficult for them to figure out that it's a low. I would say that that's what they would call probably a low quality stream, right? As you said, high viewers, low interaction.
There's a lot of those already. There's streams that run 24/7 that have no one in their chat, and it's just a bot running a stream. Like they're in our stream at the moment. There's a bunch of those. Yeah. A bunch of those ones.
Every time, literally every time,
every single time. And I said, are you not concerned about you being weighted less than other streams that have got a really high level of interaction, or ones that they know are not using this play to partner mechanic? And he says, and I quote, that he has a better way to handle it.
What?
You couldn't tell me what that was, though. He said, I can't tell you that. It's part of the 10-year plan. I said, okay. All right.
He's got a better way to handle the low quality of the stream, like the low value of the stream to Twitch,
I guess.
Okay.
And then it mentions the 3-month exclusivity with November 1st is what I wrote it down in my notes. November 1st is when he's planning to launch the first one. Yeah, I don't know. There are so many alarm bells going off from this. There are so many red flags that are showing up and waving in front of my face. And look, I'm not 100% saying that this is snake oil or whatever. Like he was very passionate about what he's showing. He's obviously very into this thing. You have to be skeptic when this is something that is so unproven. And when this is something so
also
new.
At the front of their press release, they're also offering something that is so enticing and nearly impossible to just give to someone.
Yes.
Guaranteed Twitch partnership.
Yeah.
That is not something you can just hand out to people. Aside from the fact that you need to have, 75 average viewers, and you need to stream X number of days for X number of hours, once you get to that point, you are then allowed to apply for partnership to Twitch. Yep. And if your stream doesn't meet their standards, it's very common for a streamer to meet that criteria and then wait and not apply and wait for them to have a much higher concurrent average viewer count or a higher number of followers, or to pop up for a charity stream and to drive those numbers that are a bit more impressive and a bit higher before you apply, so that you have a much more guaranteed or a much better chance of being accepted into the partnership program by Twitch, because it's done on a person-by-person basis, by people, by metrics that we don't understand. All we know is that the minimum requirements are usually not enough for you to get through. So what is this bot farm third-person shooter going to offer to people who might not be charismatic on camera?
Yeah, I can
might not even talk to their stream. Maybe they just do raw gameplay and they think they're going to make it to partner, right?
So
because it's guaranteed.
I can see here on my Twitch dashboard, because I'm an affiliate, I can see the requirements to be a partner. You have to stream for 25 hours.
Okay.
over
For a week?
Over 30 days.
Okay.
All of this is over 30 days. Stream for 25
Anyone
hours.
who's serious about that, not too hard.
Yeah, not that hard. I've streamed for 11 and 3/4 hours last week.
Yeah.
Like, not last week, but over this month, I've already done half of that. Stream on 12 different days.
Mm-hmm.
Also not too difficult. Average of 75 viewers.
Yeah. The average is hard because that brings into account your lows. So it means you need to, if you're starting your stream and you're hanging around the 25 mark, that you need to be bringing in 125 people at once for a good chunk of time to balance that out.
Yeah. And like, I think it's worth if say, for example, this did take off and then number one person in game got 5,000 viewers for a bit, that would dramatically increase their average.
Yep.
Like, hugely. Like you said, these 3 requirements is not you are now a partner. Affiliate is different. Affiliate, you hit these 3 requirements, you hit apply, and then within 20 minutes or so, you then get an email saying, hey, your account has been upgraded to an affiliate. It is an upgrade on your account. It gives you...
Your fans can now subscribe to you.
It gives you access to a host of features.
Yeah. It's basically just the bot criteria.
Yes.
Are you a real person?
Yes. It says here on the Twitch dashboard, please note that applying does not guarantee partnership. And yet, Play to Partner is guaranteeing partnership.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's very, very, very odd. I need to give this a shot.
Yeah, I want to see this. I want to see this in action.
Yeah, I want to see what it's like to do. I want to see how it works. I want to get in contact
see
with...
if the game's any good.
Yeah. I actually didn't even get a chance to play the game because I was too busy talking to the person.
Because that's the other thing, right? This plan needs thousands of people playing this game in order to become viewers, to farm the thousands of people who want to become partner, right? But if the game sucks, or if it's no good, or if one of the games is way more popular than the other, so like people playing Steam Core, which comes out first and maybe isn't as good as their next game, which comes out, Steam Core 2, the Steam Core-ing.
Yeah.
If someone's playing Steam Core 1 because it's all they can afford, no one wants to watch it, so they're not getting any viewers. Like there's so many knock-on effects here. And like if it's no good to play, how is it meant to be any good to watch? You can't just pump this SDK into a game and all of a sudden make it worthy of thousands of people to want to watch. Because I could have 1,200 people from this Play to Partner service in the chat because they're also playing the game. And that, like you said, that one person who discovered it because the number is high comes in and they're like, what is this? I don't want to watch this. And they bounce.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't. I'm gonna keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
I wanna get in contact with the developer again. And I kind of want to get in contact with Twitch.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, like you know this?
What is going on?
Yeah, like you aware of this?
The one thing I could see it being legitimately decent for is clearing that partnership barrier of the requirements. And then if you actually have a high quality stream that, like, in terms of with the people who are actually there with you,
sure.
Once you clear the requirements, maybe that gives you the opportunity to apply in a way that maybe you would be accepted given the quality of your content and the engagement of your audience. And, you know, maybe you're doing something new on Twitch and maybe you're interacting with games in a unique way or something like that. Maybe that gets you, maybe that's a shortcut to partner already. But for the thousands of people who will see this and don't know that streaming is a performance and is that it's something you have to put energy and attention into and care, like, I don't see this doing anything for them.
I don't know. It's bizarre. It's so odd. I've never heard of anything like it.
The only thing it makes me think of is, like, Bitcoin mining.
Yeah, you did say the metaverse.
Throw your GPU at this and you'll make money.
You did tweet about the metaverse a couple times. I don't know. Fascinating. At the very least. Like, a thing that I have not been able to stop thinking about this. It has not left my mind since the moment I got that email.
What a fascinating little nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got no idea. Anyway. Moving on to some of the other stuff I saw.
I feel like I need a minute.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right?
Sev says, thank you, journalist Jeremy. Yes, thank you indeed. Wow. Okay. All right, taking my time. I've recentered.
Yeah, let's move
on to the press room. I had a bite to eat.
Yes. Let's move on to something like a little bit more like still big and topical.
A little more concrete.
I got to go to a behind closed doors viewing of Skull and Bones. So, it's worth mentioning earlier that I said that Ubisoft were not at PAX. They were not.
Yet.
They were not officially, but they had this upstairs in a room without a logo on it. I got to see some gameplay Skull and Bones. There was a couple things that I can't talk about, but what I can talk about is largely the video that they showed me. They showed me like a more recent in-depth look. The video, I think, is the same one that the folks who went to Gamescom could see. So it was the same one.
2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah. These are my notes for Skull and Bones. I truly don't know what to make of this game. It's been in development hell for a while. This is pretty well documented that it was announced.
I've just pulled up an article for the history of it. This was first introduced by Ubisoft at E3 2017.
Yep.
So the public has known about it for 5.5 years. It's probably been in development for longer than that.
Yep. Let's say safely it started development in 2013.
Yeah, after Assassin's Creed Black Flag with the pirate cannon mechanic that was received very well.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, a really good game.
9 years ago.
9 years ago. This is made by Ubisoft Singapore, which is not one we hear about very often.
Nope.
Which is usually a bad sign.
They're normally a support studio, right?
I don't actually know. Would you be able to look it up?
I'm on it.
They showed off some walking sections in this game. So there are some outposts that you can go over to, and you can get off your boat and walk around.
Yep. Can I assassinate people?
No.
Can I sink from a viewpoint and get a lay of the land from an elevated area?
Sink, right? I thought you meant like S-I-N-K, like just get lower.
Can I sink to the bottom of the ocean? No, not quite what I meant.
I'm just quickly reading just to make sure that I can talk about the rest of this stuff. All the details around.
Yeah. Good to double check. I can give you a little history on Ubisoft Singapore.
Yeah. What was the most recent thing that they put out?
So they opened in 2008, largest AAA studio in Southeast Asia. What was it? We're extremely excited to lead the brand new IP, Skull and Bones. Our other notable works include every Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 2 and our latest Viking adventure, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Okay, so they've been working on Assassin's Creed for years. And I don't think they've ever been the lead developer on that one.
Yeah, right.
I may be wrong, but that's my recollection.
Sure. Look, the ship combat looks like it's fine, right? Like, I don't really know. It doesn't look like it can be a whole game. They were showing a lot of things, like they were showing like PvP and PvEVP stuff.
Oh yeah.
So like you can go into just I want to fight other pirates mode, and it's just like online, like you're a boat, they're a boat, fucking fuck each other up. But then
you say it like that, and that sounds pretty good.
It sounds alright. I'm sure it'll be fine. But like as a game, like I don't know really what kind of legs this has. Do you remember when they first showed off this game when they were all in on the esports stuff? They were all in on like, competitive. I didn't hear any of that. That stuff, as far as I'm aware, has been written out of their design document.
Well, this has been pivoted a number of times, because also back then they used to say, "Oh, you never get out of your ship.
Yep.
It is just ship combat," and clearly that is no longer the case.
Yeah. Now you can get out of your ship. You can go to outposts. You can find buried treasure.
You have a character.
You can change your character's clothes and do all the customization stuff. You can't fight, but you can. And I asked them this, and they said that you can at least be on the same island as one of your friends, so you can at least do a fashion show, which is all I really care about.
Best part of Sea of Thieves.
It is. There's like different ship types. You can customize like a ton of your ship in this game. A lot of different parts, different flags, different masts, different wheels, all that stuff, right? They've moved away from it being a very, very accurate representation of being a pirate, in the sense that they've got mortars and torpedoes now. Torpedoes in this game, being a pirate game, looked fucking stupid. They looked so dumb.
Like it's World War II.
Yes, yeah, like proper, like fire torpedoes, and they just go across the water at surface level into the other ships.
That almost makes me start thinking like, oh, they're trying to compete with World of Warships.
Kinda.
You know what I mean? Because that's like the primary way of attacking boats in that game at times.
There was a lot of... There was a cutscene at the beginning. There was like story stuff where like pirates are talking about, oh, XYZ... hey, I want to go in and see, the captain or whatever. And then you're like, oh, captain's pretty mad. Are you sure you want to do it? And it was like, yeah, I want to go do it. And then you hear like a gunshot from like inside the captain's office, and a body falls on the ground, and you can see the captain with a gun smoking, being like, that's what you get for double crossing me, whatever, I'm a pirate. These cutscenes were terrible. These cutscenes were really bad. The dialogue was really bad. Look, maybe this is going to change, but I don't know. It seems pretty close now. It's only in March, and it's been in development for a very long time.
Mate, didn't it get re-delayed?
It got re-delayed.
Oh yeah, it got delayed too much.
Yeah, it got re-delayed too much. I think it was meant to come out in November. I wrote here, these cutscenes are really off GTA Online ass shit, right? Your main character doesn't talk in these cutscenes, at least from what I saw. They're just doing this, this puppety Thunderbirds reacting to a player talking at you, right? Yes. I don't really know what they're doing.
Can I just say, looking at this trailer, I haven't looked at any of these trailers before. It looks... The art looks very impressive. The visuals of it looks great.
I don't think there's really been a game in this style that hasn't looked good. All these Assassin's Creed games, they all look really good, honestly.
Sure. But this looks good for the generation we're in, and it looks colorful, and the environments look interesting. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
It's a Stadia. It's a Stadia down here in this trailer. Look, they've got good art. Ubisoft, for the most part, a lot of their games, they look really good. They kind of all look the same, in the sense that they've all got that style. Yeah. The camera's always the same thing. The character model creator they've got is used across a whole host of their games. This looks like Assassin's Creed 4, in terms of style.
Sure.
What I wrote here is Assassin's Creed 4 seemed more fun than this. Because there was an extended section of gameplay that we got to watch. So the person driving and one of their buddies, and then they go over to a PvE event, they get involved, and then some PvP happens as well, and it's all chaos, right? Chaos is ensured. I got so bored. I got so fucking bored. At some point, it's just the same fight. It's not fast, right? You're a pirate ship.
Because you're a big boat. Yeah.
You're a big boat, mate. You're a big boat. It's slow sometimes. Also, the bullets don't look like they're coming out of the guns, and they're firing off angles that cannons aren't actually attached to their. And look, I get it. You want it to be more game than realistic, and that's a balance. but it kept on taking me out. They're building like an open world, basically, like a huge map. The Indian Ocean, down the coast of Africa, tons of, like all of this stuff, right? But it's like a huge open world area that you're exploring via boat. And then you can get off and walk around in sections, but there's no combat when you're walking around. They specifically said, like, what we don't want is for you to have a bunch of loot and then go to an outpost and then immediately get stabbed by someone and you lose all your loot.
Worst part of Sea of Thieves.
Sure. They said they didn't want that, but they've done that to the point that there's no combat when you're off the boat.
So then why are you getting off the boat?
To find buried treasure. And have a fashion show.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I wrote at the bottom here, where is the esports?
Where is my esports?
Where is the esports? Yeah, I am not super positive on this game.
Damn.
Are there any dangers off the boat? I don't know. Like there was footage just on the screen of like you being on a little dinghy and having to throw a spear at a crocodile. But I don't know.
That's on a boat.
Yeah, it's on a boat. I don't think there's any. As far as I'm aware, there is no combat or any dangers off the boat. I don't think you can die as a player. I think you can only die as a boat.
And honestly, like at that point, because if you do put combat offshore, or onshore rather, if you do put combat onshore, then it needs to feel decent enough. And at that point, you're not just doing, here's a smaller boat, like spear throwing minigame. You're making like a third person character and different combat values. Like that's you're making a second game at that point. So I could see why it wasn't a part of the plan to begin with, and I can see why it hasn't become part of the plan as things have changed, even although they've added a rudimentary walk around mechanic in the meantime.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Can you get eaten by a croc or a hippo, or are those just for show? Sure, they can fuck up your dinghy.
Yeah, I reckon you can get killed by a crocodile. I don't know if there are any hippos in this game. Not saying there aren't, but I don't know.
As long as you're in a boat.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was Sea of Thieves.
No, it wasn't.
Sorry, Skull and Bones. Sorry, Skull and Bones. Next up, Devolver were there. I think it's worth pointing out. Devolver were there, so there was at least they were showing off some stuff. They were showing off Angerfoot, which I didn't play there because I played it as part of the Steam Next Fest a few months ago.
Oh yeah. That FPS Hotline Miami thing.
Yeah. Game. I don't think that game was very good. But what else was there was a game called Gunbrella. If this is not the most Devolver Digital game that I've ever seen in my life, I don't know what is.
This cowboy's got an umbrella.
Yeah, it's a
gunbrella.
It's a cowboy, kinda. He's got a gun and he's got an umbrella, and you can deflect bullets with your umbrella, and you can double jump you can dash with your umbrella, and you can shoot with your gun. I don't think this game is very good either, which is a shame. I was kind of like, hey, like this looks really fun. So the meta structure of the game is like Hollow Knight, which is weird. There's like areas where you sit and like rest, and that becomes your checkpoint, and then you've got like a big long section, and there's another sit and resting stuff. I think the art style is okay. Like it's got decent lighting and good pixel art, and it's chunky and it's quick, and it's a lower resolution pixel art, not unlike kind of like Stardew Valley, I guess.
Yeah, I'm getting some Celeste vibes.
Yeah. Celeste is a good comparison as well. The gameplay was really hard. Like it's a really hard game. You don't have a lot of health. It's very Souls in that, like where you've got like 4 like hearts or whatever, and it's like some med items, and then when you die you go back to the like the rest locations and then go from there. I don't know why they're doing that. That doesn't add anything to this game. I didn't enjoy having to go through a section already again because I died. I didn't enjoy going back through stuff that I had already done in a game like this. I really don't.
And you liked Hollow Knight. Like you can handle these games.
Yeah, like Metroidvanias, right? Like I like them. I like Metroidvanias. I don't know. There wasn't really any exploration that I saw, at least in the demo that I played. It's worth mentioning that I only got halfway through this demo because then it broke. And then that's not the fault of, you know, it's an in progress game, whatever. It's a shame because then I went up to the guy who was running it. I'm like, hey, like I think it's stuck, and he's like, yeah, it's been sequence broken, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, and I'm like, can you fix it or not really? And he's like, no. Like, do you want to try it again? We can reset your time. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I've
absolutely not.
I've got it. I've got the gist. I didn't really enjoy the combat that much. The actual shooting of the gun wasn't really that fun. The dashing
quite
was,
like like you zip around and dash and then glide a bit on this.
yeah, like the movement was all right. The movement was okay. I wanted more shoot down to get propelled upwards, and there wasn't much of that. It's just like umbrella dash as a double jump kind of thing. I didn't enjoy how hard it was. I felt like it was needlessly difficult because I didn't feel like I was really overcoming anything aside from like, hey, I did this fight right, and if I didn't do it exactly right next time, like then I would lose a health and still win the fight. But I would just slowly get whittled down. And that's not necessarily a bad thing aside from that the combat itself wasn't enjoyable enough that I really felt like I was achieving anything when I won a fight. The art style is fine. It's all right, and that's sort of it. That's sort of how I really felt about it. I don't think I'm gonna get it when it comes out.
Right.
I was pretty keen to play this game, and I didn't really love it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a shame. Next up, Vlad Circus.
Vlad Circus.
Vlad Circus.
Is this like a sequel to Magica?
What?
Your teacher in that was the vampire, Vlad.
Oh, right. No, there's not a sequel to that. Vlad Circus is a point-and-click adventure game where you are a sad clown who has decided to invite his old his old circus troupe to his house for something. It's a horror, creepy, eerie tale, you know, sad clown in a really decrepit mansion. The cast of characters you meet are really just a bit off. They all know a little bit more than you, and it's all 20s circus tropes. There's a strong man, there is a lion monkey tamer, you're the clown. It was pretty weird and creepy, and there's definitely vampires and monsters around, but I didn't get to any in the demo that I played.
Combat in this trailer. This looks intense.
It was pretty cool. I really dug the vibe of this game. It was a quite dour but fun game. The dialogue was quite good. This is a really cool mechanic where like your character will like sort of have an internal monologue whenever something happens. Like, oh, like the light's gone out. I better go check the generator. Blah blah blah. But then he's also got a book, and his book is his journal, and he writes in his journal whenever anything happens. And the journal gives you some really great context for his relationship with the other characters. There's a ventriloquist dummy as well, which is maybe the most I didn't like that character. It was a really not nice character to be around.
Right.
Like this journal and the writing was really quite good, giving you context, giving you some backstory, but in a way that didn't feel forced. It felt like there was good reasoning of why he was writing about these things as they were happening. I quite like the setting. The clown itself, the main character, I did quite like the look of him. Like he's like a really sad clown, and that's a cool main character. Look at him. Look at that guy.
Yeah, he looks miserable.
Yeah. I think that game was pretty cool. I'll play that game when it comes out. The clown's name is Oliver Mills. But look, so it's worth pointing out that all of these members of this clown circus troupe, they're all like, it's been 20 years, so the strongman is now quite old and frail. There's like a mystic man, and I think he's now missing an arm because he's been in an accident, and I think the ventriloquist and the dummy are getting quite sick of each other, which is fun. There's some good stuff there. I'd like to play more of it.
Oh, more power to you.
Yeah. You don't look interested in this one, Gary.
It's so creepy.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the way that like the style of Inscription was so on point, but it was so like creepy to the point where like it quietly put me off starting that game.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a, horror-esque, if not just horror.
Yeah.
Next game, one of my highlights.
Okay.
Dark Web Streamer.
Okay.
No, it's the mid-90s or the early 2000s, except you're a streamer. You're a content creator on the dark web.
Oh.
And what you do is you purchase haunted objects and stream you fucking around with these haunted objects to a chat.
Okay.
And these haunted objects will slowly haunt you further. So you need to manage your whatever sanity meter that you've got, which is already kind of like, but like you've got a health as well, and you also got to manage your stream. And the scarier objects you have, the more people are going to watch.
But the more it fucks up your
the more it fucks up your mind. Yes.
Yeah.
As well as just a general like ghosts will attack you, manage your health as well.
Some Five Nights at Freddy's BS.
Kinda, yeah. But so what's really interesting? It's all text based, right? So it's the turn of the century internet. So there's ASCII art everywhere as well. When you're browsing the dark web, because there's an interface where you get to browse, different websites, different shops, so you can then find more objects. The actual streaming is laid out similar to Twitch, where there's like the main screen in the middle, and then on the right hand side there's chat and there's options you can do, but you don't visually see the stream. It's only what's happening on text. But it will still fuck up your computer as you're playing it. Like, things will move around and it'll get all like the ambient occlusion will get all fucked up, and ambient occlusion? No, what's it called when it goes like red, green, blue?
Yeah.
Is it called ambient occlusion?
I think so, but also I really don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
And there's also like an inbuilt MySpace-esque social media as well, and there's other players that you can chat to, and it's awesome. So let me tell you why this is so cool. So I was talking to the director of the game, and she was saying that something that she used to do was she was an anthropologist, I think.
A what?
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure that's what she is. Like
orthopologist.
No, an anthropologist.
Or anthropology.
Or an anthropologist.
Anthropology?
Maybe it was an anthropologist. I don't know. It was very loud. I couldn't quite hear. The way she's building this game is fascinating. She has got a text algorithm so that every piece of text in this game has a tone and has has intention in the voice, so that it's all generated, right? It's all like there's no structured text or talking, but it will change depending on the kind of person that is talking to you. The text will appear written differently.
So it's like a chatbot.
Yeah, but the whole game is like that. So the different characters work as chatbots, but like the chat itself works like that, and all the objects are all generated from like a giant pool of words and names, and so that there's like an infinite amount of there's a very, very, very large amount of objects that can appear in the game.
So the content's not authored?
Nope.
Whoa.
Right? and it's kind of like Tycoon Run based almost, where like I died because I wanted to see what happens when you die. But it's all like it's all systems. It's not an authored story. It's a story that she was saying, like it'll be millions, if not billions, of different ways people can talk to you. Going off how she set up these systems, which are incredibly detailed.
Looking here, she must have said anthropology.
I think
right?
she said
scientific study of humanity, concerned with human behavior, human biology, cultures, societies, linguistics.
I think yes, that one, anthropologist.
That's Ross Geller's profession.
Great. Yeah, it was one of the most impressive demos. Also, their PAX booth was the only one where they had the overhead lights turned off and they had little candles like put around the computers that you could play, but they weren't real candles. They were some really like what's it called? Some really good looking fake candles that were not actually hip. It was great. It was really good.
Ross Geller is a paleontologist. I'm sorry.
Oh, right. Okay. It was so impressive. I so want to play this game. I was taken, like I finished that demo and went like, oh my god, that was great. And that was one of the games that whenever I'd bump into anyone being like, hey, like what's good? What should I check out? I'm like, you should look at this. This game is great. I dragged Alex from Checkpoint all the way over halfway across the expo hall, being like, Alex, look at this. And they were really impressed by it as well. Yeah, it looks so cool. It looks awesome. And playing it was really fun as well. It was like pretty intense. And then when I died, it like proper blue screened, but in-game blue screened, which was very cheeky. I also got haunted quite a lot, and then I accidentally caused a tornado in my town to come through and almost destroy my house. It was great. It was really good.
Once again, more power to you. I don't remember there being that many spooky games at PAX.
Yeah, there was a bunch this year. It was cool to see. This one I brought up because I think you might like this game, Kerry.
Oh, roguelite.
Sigil of the Magi, I think.
Oh.
Kind of little Advance Warsy, kind of a little bit Into the Breach, kind of a little bit Slay the Spire. It's just a really cool tactics game, where you like have a little party, and you have cards, and there's different archetypes of characters. There's like mages, and there's archers, and there's like soldiers. And it's got an inscription style, pathway where sometimes you'll be in a fight and sometimes an event will happen and you got to choose what you want to do. And it's a cool tactics roguelike that I think you would quite like.
What did you think of it?
I think it was really fun. Like, I'm not super huge into tactics games. Like, I just have not really played them enough that I rarely feel like I know what I'm doing. Into the Breach is probably the one that I like the most.
Yeah, this is interesting because it's that top-down grid-based tactics gameplay plus card-based actions.
Yes.
Plus a roguelike, plus like a Slay the Spire, like you said, like the movement system. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah. It's really cool. I think you should check this game out when it comes out. Because I think you'd quite like it.
Okay. What's it called? Sigil of the Magi.
Yes.
It's got a free demo, I think.
I think this is my last game. Yes.
And the weekend comes to a close.
The weekend comes to a close. It's worth pointing out that these are not all the games I played. I played a lot more, but I didn't. I don't want to do a 3-hour show. Dredge. Kerry. Dredge is the name of this game. This is my game of the show.
Okay.
Dredge is a fishing game where you are a boat going around on the ocean and you fish.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sounds good. What happens in Dredge is that you will fish for a little bit and then you have a day-night cycle. Once that cycle becomes nighttime, the fog appears and closes in on you. Once that happens, you are not always able to know where you're going. The world is still correct, but things start to change when the fog rolls in. You might start to see some cosmic entities, mayhaps. A little bit of Cthulhian, magic in there. What happens in the game is you go out and you've got a boat. You get the boat from the town, and then the mayor's like, "Here, you can have this boat. That's fine. We'll make an Animal Crossing-esque loan for you. Go out and start fishing for us. Bring it back. Sell it to the fishmonger. We'll take a cut from all the things that you sell to pay off the boat. Once you've done that, boat's yours. Go for your life." You can upgrade the boat. It's got a Resident Evil kind of like a Resident Evil menu inventory system.
Right. Well, you got to fit everything in the.
You got to fit it. You got to fit everything in, but because it's also a grid and it also is the shape of your boat, your fishing things need to go on the side. The engine needs to go on the bottom. Lights go at the top, sort of thing. But you also got to fish. You got to fit your catches into that system as well. Different fish have got different shaped objects. It's a little management thing you got to do there. The art style is excellent. It's a really great looking game. This is from Team 17. They've got some really, really talented people working on this game. Are
they publishing it or creating it as well?
I think they're creating it as well.
Right.
The actual fishing is a little like it's kind of a timing based thing where you got to hit the button as an anchor goes all the way around a circle. You hit it when it's in the green zone, and then that will then increase the meter on the left, which is like you reeling in the fish. You then got to put the fish in the inventory and then continue onwards. There are quests that the fishmonger gives you. You can upgrade your ship from like the workshop. There's like a blacksmith there to help make new fishing items for you. And there's some fish that you can only catch at nighttime as well. But once it becomes nighttime, the fog rolls all the way in, and you've also got like a little eye at the top of your screen, which is basically your like cognition, as you know, like Lovecraft is all about how, when in Lovecraft like lore, the mind cannot comprehend the cosmic entities, right? Like that's, and you know, it's an outdated way of viewing a lot of that stuff. But that is a lot of what Lovecraft deals with when it comes to the cosmic horror that he wrote a long time ago. This has some of that, but it does it in a really interesting way where like, so the area that I played is the same area that's on screen at the moment. It is two cities with a large area of open water in between, and then some rocks sort of surrounding it, which you can go around. But there's kind of like a circular area of ocean in between these two cities, kind of like a strait of water, I guess is what it would be called. With the ocean around
it. Looks like a bay, but
but the ocean is around these two island cities. What happened is when I got to nighttime and I'd been in the night for like a little bit longer than what I should have, and the fog rolled in, I couldn't quite see where the cities were, but I knew where I was facing and I knew where the city was. So I just went.
Yeah, the area's not too big.
Yeah, not too big. Definitely know how to navigate it without being able to see. I started going forth, and then things that weren't there started to appear. So like a rock would actually show up where a rock isn't usually. Right. And I had to then like dodge around that rock as I was making my way back, and I started to lose my bearings a little bit as I was doing it, even in this small area of water. Really, really cool stuff. I then caught a fish in the middle of the night, and it had some gross parasite on it that was apparently still writhing And so I looked at that and went, fuck that. And so I just threw that overboard almost immediately.
Yeah.
And I bumped into another rock because of it. And a hole in my ship appeared. And so whatever, and that took out a slot in my inventory, and whatever was in that slot in my inventory was lost.
Right.
Which was quite interesting. And I got bumped 4 times really quickly, and the dev was laughing at me because he's like, "Oh, that was a bad one." I'm like, "Yeah, fucking, I'm trying." And then I got back and I had to repair my ship and stuff, and it's such an interesting game. It's such a fascinating game because it's so peaceful during the day. The fishing is genuinely really enjoyable. It is a really calm game during the day, and the moment it gets to night, it's terrifying. It's really, really quite not anxiety inducing, but there's a level of I need to get back now. This is bad. I don't know what's around me. I don't know if a big fish is gonna show up or something, because I can see there being some big fish in this game.
You reckon you get a different boat, bigger boat, different equipment?
Yeah. So I could see at the beginning of some of that stuff. You can upgrade. You can upgrade a lot of your boating equipment. Certain fish can only be caught with certain fishing lines, and I'm sure there'll be squid jags, and there was just before the end of my demo, there was I got given some crab pots so then I can leave them and then come back when they're full. So there's different ways to do different fishing types in this game. And then, you can upgrade your boat to make it faster and have more space inventory and have more lights and stuff, maybe a searchlight. But yeah, if you're watching the video, you'll be able to see that the fog is rolling in this gameplay demo now, and suddenly it is much harder to see where you're going. And it's very easy to lose your bearings. This game was great. The audio was really good. The visuals, the visual quality of the game is really, really good. The art style is really clear. It's quite warm in terms of it's everything's very soft edges. There's not a lot of line work. It's all muted color palette. And
they've lined this. They've termed this really well too, where they said, staying in the fog in the darkness increases your panic.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. I thought this game was really excellent. This is the game that I want to play the most when it comes out that I saw at PAX. It was just a really, really, really solid demo. I would love to sink a bunch of hours into this.
Yeah, this and Sigil of the Magi, they both have demos available right now.
Yep, a lot of
them both while we're sitting here.
One of the best things about PAX being at the time of the year that it is that there's usually a Steam festival going on at the same time. So a lot of the games at PAX actually had demos available to play to go home, which was great as well, because it means that if there was a game that I really wanted to play but the line was too long, I could still get a chance to play when I got home.
Yeah, Steam Next Fest is happening right now. Again, What's this, the second one this year?
Yeah, weird, right?
Cool, though.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard of this one happening, but yeah. Okay, cool.
So, yeah, that was all of the stuff that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that I didn't really enjoy. There was, Dredge is great. I really want to play Dredge.
Yep.
And look, cool. I'm not going to play the demo. I played it at the convention center, but I want to wait for the game.
Yeah. There's a lot of games on your list, Jeremy, that are sort of how to describe it, sort of messing with the supernatural, the hallucination, sort of not knowing what's real vibe. I wouldn't have picked you for someone to enjoy those games as a rule.
I think the reason I really like games that do that is because a lot of the time it makes really interesting gameplay like meta gameplay changes, right? A lot of the games, when they take away mechanics because of something you've done, or when it messes with the game part of the game, right? Like this dark web streamer game that I saw, like the haunting sections, when you are being haunted, like you can't click to any of the websites that are inside this game. You can't see chat. You can't see, like, it will take away the game part of the game, similar to like the way Inscription does it as well to an extent.
Yeah.
When they mess with that on a meta level, I think it makes for some really interesting gameplay moments, right? Like I love it when a in-game reason takes away a UI element, right? Like the player is then part of the game because the character isn't seeing that UI element, but the character is in a way seeing that UI element because you're the character and you're the player, and you're then changing your playstyle based on you not being able to see how much health you have. Therefore, the character is changing their playstyle because they are not able to know how much health they have because you're the player.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's a really great way to embody the character because
mechanically.
Yeah. Yeah. So
cool.
PAX is back. Conventions are back.
Yeah. Ready or not.
Ready or not, welcome home.
Do you see yourself going to more of the smaller ones as they come along this year, Jeremy? Similar to like DreamHack a month ago and
Oh, look, DreamHack, yeah, because it's game specific. I don't know, not as a rule.
Yeah.
I'll go to one that has something interesting for me if there is, if Xbox have got a booth at a Crunchyroll or whatever, I'll try and go. But usually there's enough anime and pop culture stuff happening that I don't really need to. Actually, I'll probably go if there's some voice actors from a game that I would like to talk to. Maybe I can try and organize that. Maybe get an interview or something. But I'm not really there to see, actors from Babylon 5 sitting in a booth talking about how much they liked working on Babylon 5, which is a show that I've not seen.
Fair enough. I can see why you wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't need to go to a convention to go to a convention.
Yep, fair enough. Oh, cool. Well, that was great. Thank you for going and for bringing some of the show home to us, for us to experience through you. It sounded weird when I said it like that, but let's move on. That's the end of the show, everybody. We did it.
We're
going to be back to regularly scheduled programming next week. In fact, next week we decided on what it's going to be. We're going to be ranking what we have here. It's called the Apex Legends Legend Ranking. So all of the characters in Apex Legends, we're gonna rank them. Jeremy, do we see this being? Oh wait, hang on. Sorry, before we finish, there's one final thing. Do we want to go over, or do we want to talk about it next week, Jeremy?
Oh, let's do it now. It's topical now.
All right, okay. We're gonna go a little bit longer, just a little bit. Something that happened on Friday for us in Australia was
Friday morning on my way to PAX.
Oh, right. Cool. The very first trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie released. We won't watch it on stream. We might show it on the video, but we won't play the audio. But we're just gonna talk about it a little bit. Recommend that you watch it if you haven't seen it already, so you can understand what we're talking a bit about here. This was very exciting for people to see beforehand. Like, people were like, oh, it's coming, because people are very interested to hear how all of these very famous actors are going to voice all of these very non-human characters.
But also some very famous voices, right? Like Mario's voice is so iconic.
So iconic. And Toad's voice is so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, honestly, not a bad trailer. I think it was a decent trailer.
Yeah, it looks like a fun movie.
Yeah, and like the style of it looks great. I think visually it looks really, really, really nice.
I don't like how Mario looks.
Oh, I think he looks fine.
His face is too different.
His face is a little different. He's cute though. I like him. He's portly and he's, I don't know, the way I like his facial expressions. He's looking around. He's like, what the hell's going on? I don't know. I thought it was okay. So yeah, if you didn't know, Chris Pratt is playing is voicing Mario somehow. Anya Taylor-Joy is voicing Peach, whose work I'm not that familiar with. Jack Black is Bowser. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
Charlie Day is Luigi.
It's the kind of thing where it's like, why?
Yeah.
All of these people. The most people we hear from in this is, honestly, Mario's the person who speaks the least in this trailer. We hear more from Kamek and Toad than we do from Mario in this trailer.
Who's Kamek?
Kamek's the wizard.
No. Whose voice is Kamek?
Someone like Michael Richardson or something like that. It's
Michael,
the second last name
what? Kramer?
Kramer? Is that Michael Richardson? Okay, then that's wrong. It's like, that's very funny. It's the second name on the.
Don't give Kamek the mic. do not let Kamek on stage.
It's the second last name on the list of actors in the trailer. Here it is. It's no, it was the last name.
Was it
Kevin Michael Richardson? Oh, I wasn't wrong. Kevin Michael Richardson is the person who voices Kamek.
Right.
They're more of a traditional voice actor, I think, from what I understand.
Who's Fred Armisen?
I don't know. Who is that?
He's playing Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong.
That's funny.
Who is Fred Armisen?
He's a comedy actor and writer.
Cranky Kong.
He did a show. What the fuck's it called? Like a Philadelphia thinger.
Right.
Sorry, not Philadelphia. Portlandia. Portlandia is the name of the show that he was in. He's also in like Big Mouth and a bunch of that stuff, like SNL, I think.
Yeah, Bowser's voice was very impressive. I didn't really recognize Jack Black in it at all.
I did a little bit, but only because I also, after that, I watched there was a New York Comic Con was happening over this weekend as well, and Jack Black is there. And
did a panel.
He did a panel where he did some Bowser voice lines, and I could then see it.
Yeah, totally.
Which was cool. I like these penguins, like the penguins at the beginning.
Penguins are so funny.
The penguins from that Mario 64 level have a kingdom and they attack and they're very funny.
Yeah, they do a vicious snowball fight against Bowser. He just big bad wolves them basically.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I think this movie, I think it'll be fine. I think the weakest thing is Chris Pratt. I think his voice isn't good, and I think that Mario's design is just kind of off. He looks.
I think it's fine.
He just looks like he looks more like a. And I suppose that's what they're going for, but he looks like a plumber from Brooklyn.
Yeah, he looks like a dude.
He kind of
like very stylized, very cartoony, but
like he looks like the Mario movie guy.
The Mario movie
guy? Like he looks like the 80s Mario man.
80s Mario man?
The fucking 80s Mario movie. The Mario movie.
Dude, from the first, he doesn't. What?
He does. He looks like Bob Hoskins.
Okay. You like that movie though? What's wrong with that? Why is that a downside?
Because it's not Bob Hoskins.
Okay, so what?
I don't know. It's just like I just would have liked him to look more like Mario. Yeah, look.
I think he looks more like the Mario Odyssey Mario than 80s film live action Mario.
No, his face is wrong.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little tweaked. It's not the same, but it doesn't look like an actual human being.
Mario.
You can't tell me that isn't more similar to what we're looking at.
Yeah, no.
It's so much closer than you're saying it is.
So I'm just swapping between 3 images of Mario now. Mario from the movie, Mario from the Bob Hoskins movie, and Mario
from the game.
Yeah, the game Mario.
Mario, and Mario. Yeah, I like the way he looks. I do think his voice isn't that great. Like you hear him get shot out of a pipe, and he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And then he follows Toad Summer. And he's like, "Mushroom Kingdom, here we come," and like that's it. And it's like, that doesn't sound like Mario. It sounds like Chris Pratt putting on a New York accent.
Yeah. Hang on, let me just. You won't be able to hear it, Carrie, but
yeah, here it is.
Yeah, it just sounds like Chris Pratt doing a Brooklyn accent.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
If it works, and then great. Like, that's fine. I'm not looking for it to not work.
Yeah, no.
But
like I think visually for the most part, I think it looks quite good. Like I was on Twitter and I saw Jeff Grubb was tweeting about it because his kid watched the trailer. Which I think is a target audience, I think we'll say. And what he said was that, if I can find it, come on, Jeff, where are you?
Come on, Jeff. What Sam says, I hate it. What do you hate, the voice or the trailer because you already hate Mario for some unknown reason?
Sam hates Mario?
Sam hates Mario.
Why does Sam hate Mario?
Sam, why do you hate Mario?
Jeff Grubb says, no joke, the first thing the 5-year-old
Yeah.
said was, who is that? That's not what Mario looks like. What's wrong with his face? She's watched it 10 times and is over it now.
Mario is uncomfortably wholesome. Oh, yeah, Sam feels patronized when playing Mario. That's the problem.
Right, okay.
Which is like, I mean, it's a kid's game.
Yeah, Mario games are almost uncompromisingly happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the penguins going to war and like screaming at the camera. The weird faces they pull, it's very funny.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the Mario.
That's the Mario. Looking forward to the next trailer, which I'm sure is going to be very voice focused.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be some pop songs in it and some nonsense and yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and it'll be like most of the plot is like, oh, we have to save the mushroom. We have to find Princess Peach to save the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, and then Peach will be like
Luigi, how did you get here?
Yeah, and Peach will be like, I don't need saving, blah blah, blah. And then like it'll be like there'll be like another pop song playing and there's like Donkey Kong and then just like, hey there, Mario, and yeah, it'll be yeah.
And the end of the trailer will just be her going, Mario!
Who's at the end of the trailer? Who's the sting? Because for this sting, it was Luigi.
Cranky.
You reckon Cranky? Do you reckon it's
Cranky or Donkey Kong?
It's a comedy bit between Donkey Kong and Cranky?
No, I think it's the introduction of either of them.
Right.
Probably not Cranky, actually. It's got to be someone recognizable, and they're going to be running out of them at that point. So yeah, it'll be Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because like Cranky Kong's in like 2 games.
Yeah. Well, kind of. He's in more than that.
It's not many though. I can't tell you all of them with what they are, right?
Well,
like
did
we're
you
not
know
buying
that?
Cranky Kong games. We're buying Donkey Kong games.
Sure, but do you know the lore?
I know that he might be the original Donkey Kong from the Donkey Kong arcade game, and that
Donkey Kong
the
is
Donkey Kong we
Jr.
play now is Donkey Kong Jr. and Cranky Kong is old Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, theoretically,
I wonder if they'll talk about that. I reckon they could, and it'd be funny.
maybe. I would be surprised though. I doubt we'll get there.
But if like Cranky Kong and Mario are like, oh hey, I haven't seen you in forever, like they've like and like as if they're like old friends.
Maybe it's looking like this is Mario's first time dealing with anyone like this though.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe Mario will be like, I dealt with an ape once or a monkey once.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
Well, thank you for indulging us, everyone. This is an interesting little chat. It was an interesting trailer. Like the internet really did go to a standstill for it. In a way I haven't seen happen in a long time.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we all moved on because it was like, yeah, it's a 2-minute trailer.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's decent. It's okay.
Yep.
if you want to laugh, I did edit the Rewind Theatre video for that for IGN, and Mark Medina did the voiceover, and at the end he was like, stay on IGN, and until next time, wahoo! Yippee! Which was very funny.
Silly.
Yeah. All right, we're actually going to wrap up now this time. Thank you for listening to this PAX-centric episode. Thank you, Jeremy, for going and doing such a great job of telling us how it was and what you liked, and giving us that concerning little nugget of the pay to partner SDK coming forward. We'll be back next week when we rank all of the Apex Legends. But until then, let me just, again, find my rigmarole. Thank you so much for listening. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you can find us on all of the social media platforms to know when a new episode goes live or what have you. Make sure you're not missing that when that goes up on our socials or on the website by following us at MiniMapAU on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or just checking the website, minimap.com.au. You can follow us individually too. Jeremy, if you want to see all of Jeremy's very sleep-deprived photos that he took over the weekend at PAX, you can follow him at
Obi1Jez.
You can also follow me at KJPalmer_24 if you want to listen or see the progress that I'm making towards the Final Fantasy X Platinum. Spoilers, it's going to take a lot longer than I thought it was going to. For those of you that are still here with us live on Twitch, stick around. We're about to start the post-show. Don't know how long we're going to go because we did start a little late, but we'll see how long we go. And for those of you listening later on a podcast service or on YouTube, make sure to give us a positive rating or a thumb up or a tick or a plus or whatever it is. It does mean a lot to us. And consider joining us next week for the live show. Lastly, if you wanted to, you can also support us on Patreon if you want to help keep the mics and lights on. You can do that by heading over to patreon.com/minimapau, and for $5 you can ask us questions to answer on the podcast, all while helping us out greatly. If you ask any questions on Steam Core or Play to Partner, we won't answer them immediately, but hopefully in the future. We promise we're just as confused as you are. But that's going to do us for this week. Again, thank you so much for listening. And Jeremy, take us out. Press the button. Send us home. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much.
I forgot.